Now I'm recording for the first time ever. Hey, Darren, how are you doing today?
I'm good. Are we? This is like a do-over?
Yes, this is an absolute do-over because I have fucked it up for the first 15 minutes or the first 10 minutes, whatever you want to call it.
Damn it,
And
Doc.
I know. Why am I like this?
Right?
But I do, however, I am going to start posting this stuff on YouTube for our things and everything else. So even though the title of this stream is going to be episode 7, because this is our 7th week doing this. Can you believe we've been doing this shit for almost 2 months?
Huh.
Right?
Time flies and you're having fun.
And it's always on the Friday, which means that these sections go pretty quick, because
Yeah.
I mean, I have a good time no matter what I do. I'm always having a good time on things. And other than, you calling it short for your fucking Arby's sandwich last week.
Oh, no, that was no Arby's sandwich. That was no Arby's sandwich. For those playing the home game, I had to cut it short last week because I've been wanting to make Gordon Ramsay's steak sandwich. And it looks so easy to do in the fucking video. But that's because he's already got all the prep work done.
And it's Gordon fucking Ramsay.
And it's edited. So, for those playing the home game, if you YouTube it, the Gordon Ramsay steak sandwich is actually very easy to make. It assuming you have 0 ingredients, you have to buy it all. You're probably looking at a flat $100. It will feed you 11 times, if I'm not mistaken, if I did the math right. Or 11 servings, basically. The ingredients on their own, they're okay. The relish is really good. But put it together as a sandwich, it's heaven in your mouth. Right?
I once was talking to someone, and they were describing, it's a tangent, but it connects, I promise. He was talking about his underwear. And he's just like, they're the most comfortable underwear I have ever worn. It's like a unicorn is caressing my manhood in its hooves. It is that magical. And I'm just thinking to myself, I'm like, hooves would hurt like hell. He's like, no, dude, have you ever felt unicorn hooves? Magical. And I'm like, okay, fine.
But yeah, it was probably the most amazing sandwich, at least of a steak sandwich that I've ever had.
It's like, all you people talk about relationships, but have you had this steak sandwich?
Exactly.
All right, I can get behind that. All right, so Spider-Man, Venom is ruined.
Here.
Are you gonna
posting photos? So here's the initial prep work. The prep work takes the longest.
All right.
I can't fucking. How lame! Damn it, Discord! I just want you to stream. I have to go back and forth.
What do you mean? What's wrong with it?
So on my stream, like on yours, it's fine, but on mine, I have to flip back and forth. So there's part of the prep work. All right. It's not too terrible. It takes a little bit. But then you go to the meat. You got to trim as much fat as you can off of it. That's a labor of love. The garlic I completely biffed. But it still came out okay.
Garlic is one of those things that you either are really good at it or you are forever shit at it.
Probably. I'll have to try it again just to see if I can get it right. So there's the prep on the steak.
All right.
Pretty cut and dry.
Yeah.
That's the mustard.
Did you salt bay your steak though? Like, did you take it off like way up here, let it roll off your elbow and halfway across the room and?
I don't fucking do that. So that's the relish. So my first fuck up was the garlic. My second fuck up was there was a little too much oil, but you could easily cook that out.
Okay.
All right. That's the steak after the fact. And a little inside the steak, exactly where you need it to be. It needed a little extra cooking only because I didn't have the temperature right. So that was like my third fuck up.
Okay, you know that the whole thing is 3 strikes and you're out, right?
I don't give a shit. Again, when it comes to cooking, everything to me is experimentation. So it was a learning curve all the way through. But that's what the sandwich overall looked like. Also, um, Gordon uses ciabatta bread, and I couldn't find ciabatta bread that was big enough. So I wound up just using French bread, and it came out just fine.
You should have just done like open faced with all the ciabatta and gotten like 22 servings out of it.
Should have, but
Mr. Creation,
yeah.
how are you doing today?
Hey, what's up, bud?
And also, Miss Heather, how are you? And Alex, Mark, how are you? I'm just gonna like go back and forth between screens now.
Yeah, Michael's lurking. Oh, correct your Discord.
What did I do? Oh, that, yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, that's why I had to cut the stream early yesterday, because I still had to get the ingredients, and it was weird. So
the dude cut a stream. Okay, so last week was our 6th week doing this in a row. So it's on the schedule. It's kind of what we do. And he's like, I've got to go. Like I have to go. I've got to go cook more. And I'm like, what do you mean? He's just like, well, I'm making this sandwich. And so this guy comes on late because he's making the sandwich, and he leaves early because he's making the sandwich. And it's like, I am glad that it is the best sandwich that you've ever had. And I approve. I did, like, my, actually, it wasn't even me. It was my girlfriend did have to throw some shade because we got sushi last week. And so probably while Darren was still working on his sandwich, we were having some amazing sushi from this little place down the street.
That's fine. Sandwich was 100% worth it, so I don't give a fuck.
No, that's awesome.
But yeah,
I'm doing well, Heather.
If you follow it to the T, it's the most amazing sandwich you'll ever have. It's just $100 to do. It'll feed you 10 to 11 servings, and that, I mean, if you do the math, it comes out to about $10 a meal. So that's not too bad if you can tolerate having steak X amount of times per day, 4 days straight.
You know, I'm never sure about how much a home cooked meal should cost. Because, like, I can go out and get, now, granted, it's not going to be Gordon Ramsay style, food, but I can go out and I can feed myself for a decent amount with $10, right?
Yeah.
And so that's kind of like a thing that I've never really come to grips with, is how expensive a meal can be when it's at home.
Well, there's two schools of thought. So one of the bodybuilding books that I read was on a pro wrestler, and they said
I told you, motherfucker. You bring up wrestling in every single one.
I'm not bringing up wrestling, but it is written by a pro wrestler, and he said the struggle with them is being able to eat adequately on the road.
Uh-huh.
So when you're at home, it's different because you can go to the grocery store and you can wind up. When I had my apartment and was on a budget, I literally had the meal prepping and cost down to a science, to where include 5 gallons of water for the gym, include my eggs for breakfast, oatmeal, things like that. I was maybe spending $30 a week, making 3 meals a day for 5 days.
All right.
So you can get it down to that.
I can do you one better. I'll just buy 2 cases of top ramen. And...
that's fucking top ramen.
But you throw an egg on it to make it fancy. I'll use chopsticks.
Pog diet. Fucking pog diet.
And?
No, there's nothing wrong with it. But anyway.
Yes, Heather, that is chocolate. I have a...
See's candy?
Yes.
A little shameless plug.
If you want to sponsor me, I'm open. I took a bite of one of these things. I have no idea what it is because it didn't have the little thing on it. I don't know what it is, but it doesn't taste very good, so it goes back in the box, and hopefully the girlfriend wants it.
But yeah, you can get it down to a science like that. Like, clearly you know of a budget better than I do, but you got the idea. Mm-hmm. When it comes to outdoor dining, if you're trying to, or not outdoor dining, if you're dining out.
Wow, you really have been in California way too long.
Yeah, I know. If you're trying to eat well, you can do it.
Don't mind me, I'm just eating well. I haven't actually eaten
Oh,
yet today, so I'm gonna get some food real quick.
go for it.
I can't believe I haven't eaten yet today. It's like what, 4 o'clock, and I still have not eaten since last night around 9:30.
You're just fasting. That's your excuse.
No. I'm fatting.
Yeah.
You added an extra letter in there. See?
See, I was trying to help you out there,
No,
and then
no,
you
it's
you're like, nope, I belong under the bus.
I've made my bed and I will lie in it. I have made my fat and I will live with it. But yes, I am gonna have some homemade enchiladas again. Don't mind me, guys. I should have done this before this whole thing started, but so good. Like, just bring it over here so everyone can see it. Like,
weapons one-upping you. He's like intermittent fattening.
Thank you. See, Mr. Creation understands. Sorry, guys, if I sound far away. I'll just scream across the house.
But Creation's also supporting both of our points because I remember years ago where he would live off of Baja Fresh.
Okay, I would too, all right? And I would if I could if they were out here.
I was never a fan of Baja Fresh, but he would get like a bean and rice plate for like $3. Not bad.
Yeah, I was never that cheap. I always got the Baja Burrito enchilada style with extra cheese and a large drink and, you know, extra diabetes everywhere I could get it.
There you go. If you're going to do something wrong, do it right.
Exactly. I love that that is a saying. Did you come up with that saying, or was that like something that you like read on a bumper sticker one day?
No, I heard it from someone years ago.
Well, that also needs to go on our merchandise, Darren. By the way, Mr. Horn, I had a question for you. And
all right.
You might enjoy this whole thing, but I would like to purchase a couple of CDs from you, a couple of singles from you, signed, so that I can give them away to my followers during certain events.
I will one-up you on that. Wow, Heather Deluge throwing shade on your stream to me. This is first off. Oh, beer, yum. You're too bad you're drinking water though. This coming from the bitch that drinks White Claws and Trulies.
If you want to sponsor me, Nos, I'm here for you.
But anyway,
I think that's one of my favorite things about running the dual stream with you is that people throw shade on both streams at us. So we have to keep them up just to make sure that we're not missing punchlines.
Right.
But continue. One up me. Go for it.
So I'm not IPAs all day. Oh my god, that's just as bad. I'm not doing presses. I'm not doing like CDs or anything like that. I'm keeping it straight digital because in the day and age of, you know, internet piracy, and its birth was like over 20 years ago. Why am I going to incur costs on something that's going to get stolen anyway?
Oh no, absolutely. Like I get that. But that's why I would personally like to purchase something basically signed from you in order to, you know, whether it's like a poster or it's something, but I would like to be able to give, because here's the thing, that you've played your music on the stream a couple of times and everyone loves your stuff. Like that is the big reason why I was talking to you about, hey, could we do something for me? Because I mean, everyone on there, every time you're there, I mean, I can hear it in your voice that you have a shit-eating grin as you're reading those comments about how they're enjoying your music.
In actuality, I don't, because without going into discussion,
okay,
it was brought up the other day by someone. Won't name them in particular, but it rhymes with feather. I do actually have a hard time taking compliments. Passing off on insults is super easy. Taking compliments is the complete opposite. So, give you an example. When one of our DJs from Borderline played my track, and people were tush pushing to it, I was scared shitless And our buddy Dylan was like, "Oh, that guy, he's right here," standing right next to me in front of like 300 people. And I was like, "I'm gonna punch you right in the mouth right now."
But even if it's the awkward smile when you get a compliment, like you don't know what to do with yourself, it's a sense of humility. It's like I said,
Yes.
okay, so like the other night when I got that huge host, dude, I had no idea what to do with myself. You know, I had some dude come in and host me. It was Footface or Face
Facefoot.
Facefoot. Thank you. I'm like, yes, Facefoot. And he came in and
I'll come back to you, Weapon.
he dropped 139 people on me, and I'm sitting there like grinning like an idiot because I don't know what the fuck to do. Like, I'm like, even now, even still, you know, I had someone that came in and rated me with a party of 9, and I'm just like, this is the best fucking thing ever.
So, from what Weapon was saying, he's like, all you have to do is say thank you. And in the last 10 years or so, consciously, I have gotten in the mode of, all right, when really awesome shit happens like that, first off, you never deny a gift. You know, you just constantly go through the motions, be like, all right, take a step back, make sure you acknowledge.
Of course.
I always make sure to do that, but that doesn't change how extremely nervous I get.
Also, like, I don't know. I mean, I like I said, people do amazing things for me. Like Darren has done this song for me that you guys will end up hearing at some point. And I don't think that "Thank You" does it justice for the amount of the amount of appreciation that I have for.
It does. Just keep shitting on me, and that'll be enough.
Not a problem. All right. How's this? I will give you praise for every hair on your head. All right. So we're done.
So I owe you some back.
Yes, you owe me at this point.
All right.
But that's the whole thing. Creation is that like. I want to just say thank you and smile, but thank you and smiling doesn't, again, in my eyes, it does not show the amount of appreciation that I have for something like that. And
there's only so much you can do within your amount of control. So,
well, especially in situations like this where, I mean, fuck, there is a really good chance that I will never meet that person.
Yeah.
You know, like, Creation doesn't live too far, you know, Heather doesn't live too far, Alex doesn't live too far, like everyone that's like in here right now, if we really wanted to, we could all drive like 6 hours in a given direction towards each other and go have a beer somewhere, probably middle of the desert towards Arizona, right?
Mm-hmm.
And it'd be a good time. But yeah, I don't know, it just it's just always weird, especially in like these situations. But I want to go back. If you're, you still haven't one up to me.
Hang on, Heather's trying to. Are you talking like this, Heather?
Uh-oh. Hold on, here it comes. Oh, you didn't put it to Discord, so.
No, I didn't put it in the stream, but I just played it on mine.
Yeah, I saw it. But no, before we get too sidetracked, you said you wanted to one-up me on that thing to like buy these things off of you, and
so instead of buying off of me, like if you want to do it as like an incentive sort of thing, you can download the zip folder and you're free to distribute it.
Okay, here's the whole thing. It's not that I want to incentivize. I want to almost make it like just like a prize, like a celebration of hitting a milestone because of how big of a part of my stream that you are. You know, like you are, you know, you and your text-to-speech, like literally people will continue to give bits purely so they can hear you make me die.
I do what I can.
Exactly.
Like I said, I never expected to make money off of the tracks that I released. It was just to get it out there in
the universe,
not a mainstream or a midstream, just any kind of a stream fashion. The one thing I do think is cool though is you know you're doing something when you can ask Alexa to play your own music.
All right. So I looked you up on Pandora. You are not on Pandora yet.
What?
Yeah.
Now it makes me concerned.
Because
It should have.
I legitimately asked. I said, play Darren Lehorn Radio on Pandora. And
so there may not be a station per se for me, but because what I went through, it's gonna send me a temporary login. Hang on. Oops, wrong one. Basically what I went through, submitted the shit to all platforms at once. So like, you can even do an Instagram story and have my music in the background if you search my name.
That's amazing. Like I said, I'm going to keep saying my exact same line over and over again, that I never thought I would make it this far. Like,
I'm super bright right now.
You are very bright right now.
What the fuck is Pandora's logo?
But I did want to show you guys this.
Yeah, fair.
Oh, okay.
It may take a week or two.
All right. But yeah, I searched Darren Lehorn on Pandora, and normally, play Darren Lehorn on Pandora, and normally, if there's an artist or something by that name, it'll bring up, something like that. So I was expecting to hear maybe Green Day, or maybe, something 90s,
relative,
alt-rocky, whatever.
I think the only meta tag on genre is rock. So, because I really didn't know what to classify it as.
You're still alt. I mean, you're the same thing that Green Day is, and that's going to be alt rock.
Sure. But for those at home
playing the home game for like the 12th time, I'm going to get a counter for how many times Darren says the home game brings up Zelda, Mortal Kombat, or wrestling. I'm just going to keep hitting that ding.
It's a phrase that works. All right. So, for the viewers at home, at the correct volume, I just want to make enchilada come through your nose.
It won't. It tastes way too good for me to waste like that.
All right. So, go ahead and activate that whenever you're ready.
It is activated.
All right. So, if you want, I'll go ahead and play the track. This is the new mix from today. I still have a lot of adjustments to make on it, though.
So guys, right now, what you're about to hear is for the first time ever being distributed by any way Darren's song that's been working for me as like a theme song. Like, how many people do you know that actually have their own theme song?
Like people I know specifically?
Yeah.
None.
See?
I'm also going to be so.
Oh, he's gone.
Are you there?
Oh, I'm here. You're not, but I am. Is he coming back?
All right. That was weird. So Discord has this interesting thing of like closing and restarting on me.
So I'm pretty sure that it has heard how often you have talked shit about it. So I think it just hates you at this point.
That's fair. The feeling's mutual. All right, let me bring it back up.
Yep.
But anyway, I know Michael's lurking, so I hope he's listening. But I want him to bring back his channel point incentive for choosing my loadout, because I have a really awesome idea for him, Dom, Brenna, and I'll even partake in this.
Partake?
Partake. But I want to come up with the theme song for it. And it'll be really easy to do. Take like fucking less than a day to do.
Well,
anyway.
Because, yeah, it could probably only be like, what, a 15-second thing? 30-second thing?
No, it would be like 20 to 30 seconds.
All right.
All right. So anyway, here's the track. had to put more emphasis on the bass. And I lowered the chorus sound on the guitar. Fucking hell.
There's that slide you had to make sure you put in.
The rest of it just fades out.
Hey guys, how you doing today? This is Dr. Zeus.
Nice little segue there.
That's how it works, right? Because
Yeah.
So is
Hey,
the
what's up, Creation?
hello, Mr. Creation?
What's happening?
Not much, man. A question about that though. Is the guitar the guitar sounds so forward in all of it?
In
Whoops,
a way,
I lost you
yeah,
again. Hold on. I hit. There we go. Go for it.
In a way, yeah. So I've always been the biggest fan of drummers and bassists working together. So like Another One Bites the Dust, Longview, Uptown Funk. I love just solid bass and drums. So with most of the stuff that I write, those always take the lead. The guitar is just a filler. But in this case, since you wanted something that was kind of reminiscent of
Like-
Boys of Summer, something else needed to take the lead, and I wanted the bass to be in the back, be like, if you listen close, kind of like a Zelda fucking like hidden fucking chest.
Another point.
You know. Like if you listen closely,
Couldn't
you can
resist.
hear this. No, I couldn't, because it's a good analogy. If you listen closely, you can hear this fucking lick.
For those playing the home game, Darren is obsessed with Zelda.
I am obsessed with Zelda, as you can see with all my amiibos.
Could you call them amoebas?
Amiibos.
Oh. I heard
It's
amoeba.
the feminine version of amiibos.
In a different language, it's amiibos. Hey, what's up, bud?
There he
What's up?
is. Mr. Creation. In the flesh.
So for those playing, home games,
Points!
I said it naturally, and then I caught myself. I'm like, wait, this is another point. Creation, I have known, God, since what, 2005? Is that when you moved out here? Is that what you said?
Yeah. Yeah, I think right around there. We probably met within the first year I lived in Cali.
Probably one of the greatest freehand artists I've ever known, ever.
Appreciate that.
So,
Thank you.
I still
See, he
remember
knows how
going
to
to
take a
your.
compliment. We don't. We need to take a page out of his book.
It's like I said, you just gotta say thank you. That's it.
Yeah, but your face was very monotone when you said it.
Well,
Like,
he's a
I
very
want tears. I want over the top, like
See, that's why you
dramatic.
don't know how to take a compliment. You think those things are required. They are not.
well, they're required for us to feel. I don't know. What word am I looking for? I don't know.
I don't know what word you're looking
I'm
for
just
either.
going to eat my enchilada.
No, with creation, it was like at first off we were hanging out, and he's like, "Why am I hanging out with? Like, why are these people hanging out with this guy?" And then eventually he came to the conclusion, "Wait, why am I hanging out with this guy?"
No,
you're,
I
you're like,
never
"I'm
thought
not.
that.
I'm just at a Starbucks. I happen to be here."
Well, that's true.
Always,
That's true.
always. So,
I was just at a Starbucks minding my own business drawing shit.
so
I would
there
come over to
is
annoy you.
a like movie theater plaza in Simi Valley called the Regal, and it's where we grew up. And there was this group of guys that would always be there, and basically it was either Regal trash or Regal rats, and that was like the group of people that were just always there. That's also where the first time I heard the term pimpfants. So there were prostitutes and pimpfants.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I remember people being called that. That's
See?
weird.
Yeah. I like to take
Yeah.
credit for knowing the guy that came up with pimpfants, even though I guess it came up like across the nation around the same time everywhere. But I'd never heard it, neither had he, and we just, laughed about it. Good times.
Yeah.
Continue. I'm just gonna finish my enchilada.
Now,
Which is
if I seem a little bit distracted, I am technically still working, but the work I'm doing is a little bit.
Autonomous.
It's a little bit self-driven, so it doesn't require full focus. So
How you been, man?
I'm good. Working. Can't complain.
I'm actually super glad you finally got on the. I know you were on Twitch before, but the only way I had known of Twitch from years ago, someone did a Mike Tyson's Punch Out blindfolded run.
What?
Yeah, and
Play
then,
that game blindfolded? Isn't it hard enough?
no, this guy
it's all timing.
Yeah, it's all timing. This guy had every fighter down to a science, except Tyson. Tyson, you legitimately can't do. You could, but it would be a very lucky move.
Mm-hmm.
But anyway, there was that video, and I'm like, what the fuck is this Twitch TV shit? And then, and here I am.
That's actually why Darren and I reconnected, was because Mark in here actually is like, hey, Darren's streaming, you should go check him out. I'm like, yeah, why not? I'll go reconnect with this asshole. I haven't talked to him in forever.
You love, masochism.
Yeah. Good times, guys.
Same happened to Creation. He's like, oh, fuck, Darren's on here. I love something.
No, I mean, no. There was no particular reason we lost touch, other than I was in art school and I didn't talk to anybody because I was going through probably what would be one of the most difficult things in my life to accomplish.
I remember that.
Yeah.
I don't know if it was like your graduation exhibition or something like that, but we went to your art exhibition.
I remember. I don't remember you at my. Maybe you were.
No, there's a photo of you, me, Chris, and Glenn. I think
that's right. You were there. You did show up, and you showed up to my cacao show at the coffee shop.
Yes, that I do remember.
You know that particular show and that particular time changed my life. Do you know that? Did I ever tell you that story?
No, but I was glad I was part of it.
All right, story time.
So, I finished art school with a mountain of debt, like every other art student.
I remember that.
Mm-hmm. And I still got some. That mountain is still there, but that's another story. Finished art school and didn't have a lot of prospects, and still had a lot to go, a lot of work to do on my portfolio before I could work, and before I could be, considered workable. And I grinded and grinded and grinded for about 2 years. Maybe a little more after art school. I mean, it happens to a lot of students. They don't get the job of their dreams right away, or it
This would be
takes
what?
time.
2013.
This would be yep 2013. Had to be middle of 2013, maybe near the end. And I'd finished art school earlier in 2011, May of 2011. So anyway, I grinded. I moved down the street from this art school. Just happened to move down the street from it, and I worked the minimum amount that I could work as a day job, while spending oodles of time at this place every day, every waking minute that I could muster. I swore off video games. I didn't touch video games for like 3 years, maybe more.
That's just
Um,
blasphemous.
Not one time did I pick up a video game. Well,
It's probably a good thing.
with the exception of The Last of Us. I gave myself 3 days to beat that game because I knew it was going to be exceptional, and I was right. So it was a good choice. But
Unless you're Darren.
the game is exceptional.
Oh,
anyway,
for me, that's just an opinion, and
it's a wrong opinion. It's the one time that your opinion can be wrong.
That's fine.
So says like 99.99%. Put it this way, more people like The Last of Us than Dennis recommend Crest toothpaste, okay?
That's probably true. Yeah, that's probably true.
That's fine. Again, you're not going to sell me on it.
I'm not trying to sell you anymore.
If you're not into like stealth type games, though, I could see why you wouldn't be into that, because it can be a slow burn.
To put it in a different perspective, if Iron Man 1 wasn't done as well as it was, or the Avengers wasn't done as well as it was, I wouldn't give any more two shits about the MCU than I ever could about any of the comic book films.
I don't think that's a good analogy.
That's a horrible analogy.
Because Last of Us is considered to be the greatest game ever made, just not by my opinion, but by many.
That's fine until Breath of the Wild dethroned them.
No, sorry,
no,
dude.
Sorry.
Still not the case.
It might be a good game.
Again, these are opinions.
The sequel is the highest rated game ever, but you know what? I'm not going to get into that because that's so divisive.
That's
yeah, it's stupid. We're arguing the merits of video games here. Whatever.
Right.
Whatever you like is what you like. Pleasure is pleasure. No worries. Anyway.
He doesn't know how this podcast works, does he? Be divisive.
What the hell was I talking about? I don't even remember.
It's all about being divisive.
Art school, too much, spending too much, no video games. Yeah. I got you, homie.
Yeah. So I made it my mission. Like, I was going to get hired. I have a mountain of debt, and I need to make sure that I am hireable. And you throw in joining forces with another friend of ours, making a comic book and having a Kickstarter and all that shit, and then my own sort of miscellaneous artwork that I was making, and this went on for about 2 years, two and a quarter year, and then I was hanging out at that coffee shop a lot, probably a good year. Became really good friends with everybody there, and I noticed that they would have art shows pretty much in the regular from whoever wanted to have an art show there. And you could sell your work there, and of course the shop would take a cut, that's cool.
Right.
But they'd hang it on the walls for you. And
that was the art thing that I went to, right?
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. So I think I came back from technical school at that point. Yeah, I think you were still on your journey.
Yeah.
And you managed to poke by, free up some time to come by. I remember seeing you, and I was surprised you were there because I knew you were busy as all hell too. But I think that might have been the last time I saw you in person, to be honest.
I think it was, and that had to have been 2014.
Yeah. No.
Yeah.
No, because I didn't get my first real gig until the end of 2013, and that show is the reason I got that gig, 100%.
where I can tell you right now that's wrong is I went to basic in November of 2013 and I came back home March 2014. Anyone that's been in knows those dates.
Well, fair enough, but I saw you in 2013, and I know because that show is the reason I got the gig.
Okay.
So
that's fair.
Anyway, so I had that show. I put a bunch of. I mean, I lined the walls of that place with my artwork.
Yeah.
And on one wall, it was a very small place. If I could draw like try to air draw this, it might have been like a square if you were looking at it from the blueprint, like a rectangle, and it might have been, I don't know,
God, I think it was
20 feet long. Yeah, 20 feet long and maybe 10, 11 feet wide. It was very narrow, and in the back would be the barista and the espresso machine and everything, and the counter that you'd pay at. And on the right side, when you walked in, would be the comic book stuff. It had the first 5 pages blown up to massive scale. You could actually read the first 5 pages of the book. And on the left side, I had miscellaneous shit that I made, portraits and whatever. And there was a friend of mine that I used to hang out there. This guy Dan, who's a screenplay writer, and he told me about this guy Javier, who works at a company that hires guys like me. I'll just keep it short and sweet.
Right.
But I was like, okay, cool. It was kind of a fleeting conversation, and then probably a week or two later, I was in there just business as usual, and that guy Javier came in because he happened to be eating at the restaurant next door. And we had a brief conversation, and he first came in, he's like, who did the work on the walls? And I was there, and I sheepishly raised my hand, not knowing who he was, because he hadn't yet introduced himself, I don't think. And he goes, hey, are you Dan's friend? And we had a quick comment. Oh yeah. He's like, this is great work, and shook my hand. He said, I'll be in touch. And 2 weeks later, he changed my life, and I have a job as an artist, as a working artist in Los Angeles, working on television shows and movies and all kinds of shit. I mean, from that point on, like, I have not yet worked. So I went from being a literal starving artist to I'm a functioning human being.
to just an artist.
Yeah. And that's how it happened.
That's good, man. Yeah, I think the last time I spoke to you, you were working for Criteria. Not Criteria, Daiquiri.
Yeah, Daiquiri.
Criteria is a buddy of mine. But yeah, you were working for Daiquiri in the augmented reality sort of thing.
Yeah.
That was, I think, the last time I even spoke to you. I think you were there for already a year. You were telling me the story about how your supervisor comes in and says, hey, what kind of computer do you need? And you just kind of shoot for the moon, and that's what you got.
Yeah, that sounds about right. Tech companies have a lot of money. You can pretty much ask for anything.
Yeah.
But, in the case of certain companies, they blow the money, and they don't always treat it wisely. So.
And that's where, so in the Air Force, that's where guys like me came in. I've done the for-profit analysis side, but then in the Air Force, I was on the audit side. I was the after the fact, making sure everyone was doing shit correctly.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, that's where guys like me came in saying, yeah, y'all fucked up. Here's where it happened.
Probably could have used some of that.
But
dude, I've had 2 people already come to me and be like, hey, can you budget my life?
You're like, no, but I can ruin it. Just date me. Hey, sorry.
Wow. It's already gloomy, all right? We don't need your shade.
That seems mean.
That's all right. There's some hail to put some ice on that burn. Anyway,
I'm a punching bag.
A good one. Nice and squishy.
Yeah.
So,
Thanks, man.
welcome. But no, I wanted to get back to your stuff about Venom and the destroying of the series and how you didn't like Tobey Maguire, because I had to stop you so I could restart this whole thing.
All right. So of the words that I hate, I don't mind this word in bed, but
Daddy?
no.
Okay.
But
What on earth are you talking
this
about?
word I hate being used except in this situation. Tobey Maguire is a pussy. All right, fucking hate that guy.
Okay, that
And
word.
Jeez, you don't even know him.
I don't give a shit. He made Spider-Man look like a chump. All right.
No, he did not.
Yes,
Oh, more
The
disagreement.
Raiders, the
All right.
Raiders made Spider-Man look like a chump.
All
I
right.
don't care how much knowledge you have on comic books. I will shit on the Tobey Maguire Spider-Man all day. Now, here, before we get into that, Tom Holland, by all accounts, is the best Spider-Man ever. We'll
I
just
agree.
go ahead and settle that.
I totally agree.
Tobey Maguire, in my opinion, is one of the worst, but neither here nor there. The Tobey Maguire franchise didn't really get it that dead on with the comics. His web shooters were not biological; they were, a device on his wrist, which the Amazing Spider-Man series got right, and the Tom Holland series got right. I don't know too much about that history to dive into it. I just know there was a lot of questions about it. However, Venom, the only comic book story I ever cared to follow, Spider-Man 3 got correct. They just did it with the wrong actor and the wrong direction.
I don't know, man. I mean, emo Spidey, you know? No, that's
I'm
what
not
that's
talking
what
about emo Spidey.
that's the part that ruined it for me was fucking emo Spidey walking down the street going, "Hey," and I'm like, "No."
I'm talking about fucking Topher Grace as Venom. First off, the story of Venom and how Venom comes to be dead on point. All right? They got it dead on point. Topher Grace just a little lackluster as fucking Eddie Brock. Where Tom Hardy,
yeah, that's it.
yeah, Tom Hardy, I think got it right. The Venom movie was a good film. It's just only the first 5 minutes were close to the comics, not dead on fucking point. And again, you can't have Venom without having Spider-Man.
So are you the kind of guy that reads the back of a book before, like, you go on, like, and you make sure that you know the entire storyline before you read it, just to be like, that's not what I read on Cliff Notes? Like,
100%.
Right? Right?
It depends. So it's kind of after the fact. Like Braveheart was one of my favorite films.
Yeah, it's not very historically accurate though.
Until I read the history on it, and then it became one of my most despised. Like just the historical inaccuracies of it is. Consequently, this is also why Gangs of New York is one of my favorite films because it was so historically accurate. So
let me ask you a question. Why do you hold Venom to the same standard as Braveheart?
Because I love the anti-hero, and Venom was among my favorite.
That's not the question at
that
all.
was not the question.
I don't
at
care.
all.
Venom is one of my favorite characters, therefore I hold it to a high standard.
You know Venom is a fictional character, right?
Yes! Yeah, I although there is probably a museum somewhere dedicated to him, and there might even be some religion out there that's dedicated to him with some weird followers.
I don't know about that, but ironically, I just read that there's an Iron Man statue in Italy.
Okay, look,
there's Iron Man statues everywhere, man.
Oh,
yeah.
There's museums of that shit now.
But here's the thing, like
the MCU historical whatever the fuck was at the Reagan Museum in Simi for a couple of years or something.
Oh, we did walk through the Las Vegas one.
I wish I'd known that it was there. I would have gone out and seen that.
Yeah, it was a few years back.
The Avengers Station is cool. I don't know how authentic it is with the costumes that they have there, but I mean, it's cool.
But yeah, Darren, but seriously, I kind of have to be with creation on this whole thing as to why are you holding something that is completely inaccurate as far as historical events to something that's inaccurate to what someone made up. So someone else just made up something else about the thing that was made up.
It's kind of like another comparison would be Interview with the Vampire by Anne Rice. That movie was kind of on point with the book. I think there were a few instances that were a little different, but so it's like if you're gonna depict something that was historical, be fucking accurate to the story. If you're gonna depict something that's fictional, that's coming from a comic book that's pre-established, be fucking accurate. Now, to creation's point, I get that you only have 2 hours to get the story out, so then take your fucking time. All right. And this is where Spider-Man 1 did get it right. They focused on a lot of the story and the origin.
So does that
mean... And they did a great job with that.
So does that mean that everything Frankenstein... Fatal, I am doing great. Thank you so much. How are you doing today?
Three bearded gentlemen.
Yes, we are the sexy bearded men. But,
I think mine barely counts as a beard.
Are you kidding?
Okay, look, if you have more hair on your face than Darren has on his head, it's a beard. That's why we can consider Darren's a beard.
The sad part is that was the exact same joke I was thinking.
I got you, homie. But, okay, but I do have to, like, ask the whole thing then. What about Frankenstein? Like, the, you know, Mary Shelley's Frankenstein, right? She writes this entire novel on a bet in a week. Wins the bet because Frankenstein is now, like, everyone knows who Frankenstein is, right? And Frankenstein's monster. Technically, it's Frankenstein's monster because that is not Frankenstein. Or Frankenstein, if you were. Okay. But do you now shit on everything, like calling him Frankenstein? Anytime you see someone that calls the monster Frankenstein, do you, like, go absolutely nuts and have a conniption because they're getting it wrong? Or because you haven't actually done the research on it. Like, I don't see you shitting on the monsters. He's just off screen laughing.
Hold on, I'm fixing my computer here. Give me 1 second.
All right.
I'll be back.
The problem with that is I don't know enough about the Frankenstein story.
There's not much to know. Dude bring something back to life using the whole science theory behind when guys would put, like, an electric shock through, like, a toad or a dead frog or something, its legs would move.
Okay. Was there a novel written about it?
Yes.
Which came out first, the novel or the film?
The novel.
All right. So, have you read and seen both?
No. I'm not talking about the movie at all. I'm talking about Frankenstein in general. Because you understand Frankenstein as being the big tall dude with the bolts in his neck and everything else, right?
Sure.
That's not Frankenstein. That is Frankenstein's monster, if you're going off of that whole thing.
But again, that's not a story I know, so therefore it would be unfair for me to critique that.
It was required reading in high school.
I don't remember reading Frankenstein's
You don't
monster.
Remember anything from high school.
No, there are things that I remember in high school. As on the sauce and on the hash as I was, there were a lot of things that I do remember.
By the way, kids, don't do drugs and don't drink if you're underage. Continue, Darren.
Wow, was that your PSA? You could do so much better than that.
You know what? I just don't want to be demonetized by, like, you know... Continue.
Anyway, so where we might disagree on the things that I do know,
mm-hmm.
as far as, like, stories or whatever. I'm also a very fair person, and in that vein, I can't critique something or give an opinion on something of a story that I don't know. So, to that point, that's where I kind of bring up Green Lantern again. I never read the comics, never seen anything of it, didn't even know who the fuck Green Lantern was. All I knew was Ryan Reynolds, and it'll probably be funny. And so when I watched it, I actually thought it was a decent film.
So that means
super campy in the beginning, but
so that means if you go back and read a Green Lantern comic, you will then hate that movie because it's not on par,
folks.
Huh?
If I was interested to, probably.
There you go, folks.
Creation, can you move your camera down some so we can see more than your nose?
Sorry, I was slouching. My bad. I forget I'm on camera.
Yeah, like we have what?
Give me 1 second.
What I'm struggling with to understand is the.
By the way, guys, this whole stream is just shitting on Darren and his beliefs.
Yeah, first we were just shitting on everything. Now we're just shitting on me.
So I'm just struggling to understand the feverish nature you have, the rigidity in this thinking. Like, Like, so much so that you'd be willing to go back, read all the Green Lantern comic books, maybe, and then decide, fuck that movie, even though you liked it previous?
Because that's what you did with Braveheart.
Yeah,
Yeah, dude, no one said Braveheart is fact. It's loosely based on a fictional character. Do you hate Assassin's Creed because they weave a fictional story into actual history?
I know
And
nothing
guess
about
what? The
it.
Assassins didn't actually kill any of these people?
I've never played
Okay.
Assassin's Creed.
I
know nothing of that story.
I am going to shit on Assassin's Creed in Darren's defense and saying that it is completely and 100% inaccurate to jump off of a building and land in a bale of hay and not die.
You're right.
You really, you really want to bring it? If you're going to bring that,
Totally
shit up,
is.
Let's start shitting on Call of Duty then.
Absolutely,
being able to drop 6 feet in full fucking pack. Not to mention the infinite number of reserve parachutes that you have.
Y'all know at not one point did they ever claim that any of these were documentaries.
Oh, actually, so there was one really cool thing. I do want to give...
Especially Venom is not a documentary.
How dare you? It is all about alien life, and we cannot disprove it. And I think Darren just raged so hard his Discord died.
Hang on.
Oh, dude,
Discord crashed again.
I am gonna. Can someone clip that for me? The Darren's face as he did it. Your hands were up like this. You were in this middle motion as your shit went down. So that's how it froze.
No, because all right, yeah, because my Discord tends to crash. So,
cool.
All right. So to try and answer your question, I'm not opposed. So if a book comes out about whatever, and someone wants to make a movie on it, and they happen to change one or two things that happens to make the movie better than the book,
right?
I'm not opposed to that. All right,
right.
Because you're only changing one or two things. A great example of that is Iron Man 1. To my understanding, the 10 Rings, I don't think really had any involvement in Afghanistan. I don't know. I never read the comic. But a lot of people appreciated the fact that they tied Tony Stark and Stark Industries to the war in Afghanistan, since it was circa, 2008?
Yeah, exactly.
So a lot of people appreciated that fact, how they tied it in to make it a little bit more realistic.
To make it contemporary, because you don't want to be talking about the Vietnam War.
I don't know.
Whenever that character was written, rather.
I don't know. They talked about World War II.
That was Captain America.
That was Captain America.
And then they had to modernize it, but okay, fine.
No. Well, hold on. Captain America, Captain America was created out of World War II, though. He was created to specifically fight the Nazis. There was nothing that really tied that sort of origin story to Tony Stark to like a time period. Not like that.
Right. But again, it's changing one or two things to improve on that story in the film. Yeah, that's a deviation away from what the comic book really was. So there's a historical inaccuracy or whatever. But it did make the film better. I'm 100% in favor of that. When you do shit explicitly different that doesn't really help the story in the film and is also a historical inaccuracy or a comic inaccuracy, that's when I'm going to start shitting on it. So to answer the question, yes, if I were to read the Green Lantern comics, and if those comics were to completely contradict the film, even though I think the film is okay, it's not great, it's not stellar, it's okay, then yes, I will change my mind and absolutely shit the fuck on it.
Do you like Star Wars?
I don't care for it. I've seen all 9 of them. I have not seen Solo. I've seen Rogue One. Seen all 9, seen Rogue One. I have not seen Solo. I heard bad reviews about it.
Because I believe, and someone can correct me if I'm wrong, I believe that like the books were written by like 6 or 7 different people.
Never read the book.
So, but I guess
Star Wars?
Yes.
Wait, they have books?
Welcome to the party.
I don't think 4, 5, and 6 have books.
I believe the entire thing was a series that Lucas bought the rights to actually make the.
No, I think he created all of them.
Hold on.
Maybe.
Now
I'm pretty sure Lucas created 4, 5, and 6 with another guy. I forget his name. In fact, Lucas didn't even direct until.
I'll be right back.
I might be wrong about this too, but I don't think he even directed until Jedi.
Ooh, that's bright as hell. Looking for years.
They're definitely inspired by things that have come from before, but all that is Lucas. All that is George Lucas.
Oh, these are all upcoming novels. I don't want upcoming.
Now, that being said, there was a ton of shit made after the fact of books and different novelizations of different storylines and whatnot, which I am not an expert on at all, but I am fairly confident that Star Wars comes from George Lucas as an IP.
That wasn't it. I don't know why I can't find this thing now. So I remember growing up, a friend of mine had a bunch of Star Wars like books that were written by a bunch of different people.
Totally. But that came after the movie. They novelized all that shit to sort of make one big canon, and they also wrote a bunch of novels that took place in between the movies and after the movies and blah, 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 blah. But if you talk about A New Hope, day one, in theaters, I believe that comes right out of the mind of George Lucas.
Yeah, like I said, I could have sworn.
If I am wrong, I would love to be corrected on that, but I'm pretty sure that's not the case.
Actually, you know what? 3PO, you would know this. Were there books before the Star Wars series? Like, were they based on books, or were they original ideas from Lucas? He's a Star Wars nut. He actually got...
He probably knows better than me, for sure, then.
I
do like Star Wars, but I wouldn't call myself a nut.
He got the shit smoked out of him for claiming that his religion was Jedi.
All right.
Yeah, it's... Original
scripts. There you go.
All right. You win.
That could be.
You win. I concede. Yes, on did? Yes, I did. Yeah, I need to get him in here for that story because it was hilarious. 3PO, you got time to hop in Discord real quick and share a quick story? If so, awesome. If not, no worries. I know you are a busy man with everything that's going on with your life, and awesome. We're gonna get a quick story time from 3PO.
Cool.
Met him in the army. He was actually the first person I ever met. He scared the ever living shit out of me. They had been in the field for like, God, 2 or 3 weeks, and they were coming back to the main post to shower for like the first time in forever. And so he's like dirty and grimy, and I'm a brand new private in the army, and here comes this specialist that's just...
Oh, me?
Yes, you. I'm telling them how I met you, and oh my god, he scared the ever living shit out of me. I'm sitting there at parade rest to a fucking specialist because yeah, right.
Wait, did you say parade rest?
Yes, parade rest. It is.
Can you explain what that means?
Parade rest is basically hands behind your back with slightly interlaced fingers.
Got it. Okay.
Upside down, but like that.
Yeah. But yeah, it's behind
Makes
you.
sense.
With your legs a little more than shoulder width apart, you're completely straight up straight, looking forward.
Whenever they say "at ease, soldier" in the movies,
that's exactly it. Yes.
Yeah. Copy that.
Well, attention is one thing, and then at ease is, your hands go behind your back, but I'm literally sitting there talking to him like this, and he's like, "The fuck are you doing?" And I'm like, "Nothing, specialist. I'm just doing what I was told." Specialist is like, Will you call me by my name? But yeah, 3PO, please regale us with your tales of getting the shit smoked out of you for claiming you're a Jedi.
So when you're going through processing for deployment, they go, okay, well, gotta get you your dog tags. You go through all the med stuff, and so it puts religious preference. And so a couple of us put Jedi Knight.
That's great.
And so
the coolest sounding religion, by the way.
follow this. This is 2008.
Right.
And so we got our dog tags, and somebody tipped off that who was printing and said, "Hey, you got some jokers that put Jedi Knight as their religion, right?"
Mhm.
And so our company commander called us in, and he's like, "This isn't an effing joke," and just going crazy about it. Smoked the shit out of us. I mean, we probably
I
did.
don't know what that means either. The smoke when you
So
say you
Basic-
smoke the shit out of you.
Basically, we did probably 1,000 push-ups, flutter kicks,
Okay.
burpees, anything, any type of physical activity. So
That's
we also call it,
punishment.
we call it caping as well, corrective action through physical education.
Copy that.
cape.
Okay.
So and then they finally he basically said, "You're gonna have to keep going if you want these dog tags, or you're gonna have to put a real religion on there." And so and this was in front of other people too. Maybe a day or two later, the Army Times comes out with an article.
Oh
Front
no.
page about
Nice.
the religion
I know where
of
this is
Jedi
go.
Knight. Front page about how like one of the fastest growing religions is the religion of the Jedi Knight. And so the Army Times got kind of handed out around us. So what we did was we went to the local copy store and we made like 20 to 30 copies of it, and then we got glue and tape and put it all over his door, basically showing that. So then of course he got pissed off about that, but he called us in, and the battalion commander and the battalion sergeant major were there, which is his boss essentially. He's a company is smaller than a battalion, and he had to apologize for religiously persecuting us. And he said that it is within our rights that if we want to file a formal complaint of religious persecution, we could.
And
wow.
that would be a complete destruction of his career. Now, granted, the dude fucked his own career.
This guy was literally like, you could tell his pee-pee went turtle on that.
Oh man.
Because he knew all we had to say is, yes, I want to pursue religious discrimination. His career is over. Absolutely over.
Which
Jesus Christ.
he ended his own career anyway by screwing the wrong people and pissing people off. And
yeah.
Oh my god, he was just a fucking bag of shit. It didn't matter.
He was a total bag of shit. And so he was sleeping with so one of the things in the military is you can never sleep with a subordinate. It's fraternization.
Oh, so he literally screwed the wrong people. I thought you were saying like he was
literally
being a dick or screwed someone over.
Figuratively and literally, he did.
Copy that. Okay.
Yeah.
So I'll negate that a little bit. It's it's screwing the wrong person.
Yeah.
And
so
all of a sudden, fraternization.
So this was under his command. He was screwing one of the lieutenants directly under his command. So like if you're like two specialists that you don't have any command over each other, that in theater like Iraq, Afghanistan, they kind of cared, but if you kept it on the DL, they wouldn't really do anything about it. In Gitmo, they did not care whatsoever. But if it's somebody directly under your authority, they absolutely do care. So he was doing that. They had
Is that because you run into the typical like power dynamic argument,
Well, there's two schools of thought of it. One, the clear and present is allegations that can arise from it, but the other is favoritism.
Yes.
Oh right, yeah, of course, yeah.
Favoritism. That's a big one. Is that you would put other people's lives in danger to protect the one that you are fraternizing.
Sure.
Which is a semi-separate discussion from Don't Ask, Don't Tell. Hey, thanks for the follow.
So we they ended up having we were stationed inside the city of Fallujah, and we would come back to Camp Fallujah for supplies and just everything now and then. So we come back and we were just checking in, and we did a couple things. We're about to leave, and all of a sudden you see the woman he was sleeping with, who was our former commander. She was a first lieutenant.
Oh, hold on. Acting commander, not even our actual commander. Oh, I hate this bitch. She still owes me a leg holster. Continue.
So they are having a lover's quarrel in front of us in the middle of the camp, and
that's no bueno.
And then she so we are just filthy dirty. Like we're just like, we want to get back. We just don't care. And she's like, and your dick is small.
Oh, good lord.
And we're standing there like, like frozen in place, and like he like she storms off, and he like looks at us, and he knows better not to say anything. He's got 12 people just staring at him like.
So this is the chick,
Jesus
all right? So
Christ.
this woman, right? I will name drop the motherfucking hell out of her. Lieutenant Pena is a bitch.
All right.
No issues with this one. This chick, all right, had never done anything, but while the company was on AT, which is annual training, in the reserves, that's that 2 weeks a year thing. You know how you hear about the join the Army Reserves 1 week in a month, 2 weeks a year?
Sure. I've heard
Okay.
it.
So it's the 2 weeks a year that they met. Okay, that they met and they like kind of had a thing for one another. She found out that his unit was deploying and they were completely undermanned. Like they only had what, like 30% of the deployment numbers or something like that
Yep.
that they needed.
Because we were 60% of their numbers.
Yes. And so what she does is volunteers her entire unit without talking to any of us to go to Iraq
Yeah.
Oh,
Just-
shit.
because she wants to be there with her boyfriend.
So one thing in the
Well,
military,
that is
so
not acceptable.
the unit we deployed with is out of Orangeburg, New York. We are, we're out of Irvine, California. One thing about how they divide the reserves, they basically do divide it West Coast, Central, and then East Coast.
Mm-hmm.
To cross over, you in an army structure, you're crossing over beyond divisions. We were in a totally different division, and they usually don't like to cross units as a whole over like that. You can cross individual people because it's not bad paperwork wise, but doing it and moving the flag of a company, as they call it, is not an easy thing. And we did. We moved the entire flag underneath, and that's not an easy thing to accomplish. And because she did it kind of behind everyone's back before people could say, "Yo, what are you doing?"
Right.
We get orders dropped on us like, "Oh, here's your report date orders," and everyone's like, "Well, what? Like, what do you mean report date orders?" And then because before you get Warno orders, and Warno.
So she didn't even tell you that it
Nope.
was happening once she committed to it.
Nothing.
Correct.
She just waited for, hey, motherfuckers, let's go.
She
And
waited
so-
for the paperwork to get to the unit to say, "Hey guys, guess what? We're going to Iraq."
Yeah, so the Warno goes, what happens is the Warno goes to the commander, and the commander
Wow,
then
that's
disseminates
extraordinary.
it. She never disseminated the Warno letter, so we got our movement order letter, and we had 2 months before movement, because movement comes usually about 60, 90 days. We had 2 months before movement.
And normally you have between like 6 and 9 months so that you can get
Yes.
your things in order and everything else. Dude, I only had 3 weeks, all right?
Yeah,
so I don't want
that
to hear
was-
shit about it.
The legal
That was my
purpose-
next question is like, don't you say you get said orders? I mean, obviously I've never been in the military, if you can't tell. But my next question would have been, say you get said orders, you're going someplace far away. You have some time to square away and go see your family and
The
You
legal
be like,
requirement.
hey, I'm going to be gone a while, right?
Okay, so
The
it depends on what your unit is for the legal requirement, Darren.
That is if you're not actively at war. Like,
The
you're not
department-
under
Okay,
attack.
Well, this coincides with either contingency or non-contingency. Basically,
Mhm.
contingency means a declaration of war.
Right.
So in a contingency or a non-contingency, doesn't matter. The DoD instruction, I believe, I know for a fact it is legally 48 hours.
Yep,
Yes.
48 hours.
So- Yeah, so the minimum amount of time you have to be given in order to prepare for a deployment for any number of months is 48 hours. That's
So,
what-
so how much time did you have when you finally found out?
2 months.
We had about two months, but so in how rotations work. So let's say say you land in country, it's January 1st.
Mhm.
When you land in country, the unit that is going to be replacing you is notified, because you have to make sure first you have enough able bodies. You have to schedule training. You have to schedule movement for the training. You have to then schedule from training movement over to pre-theater, which, well, I call it pre-theater. It's basically Kuwait, so you can get weather acclimated to the region, and then you get into country. There's a lot that goes on, but the second you land, the next unit is notified because it takes time.
Mhm.
So that's where the Warno letters come in. So that's why when we were told, "Hey, you're leaving in 2 months to go to your training," they were already halfway through their deployment. So
Okay.
we got told, and then we left in January to go train in Fort Dix, New Jersey. and then we hit boots on ground in early May.
Okay.
Was it April?
Mid May.
Was it mid-May? Okay.
Yeah, I got hurt May 8th, so yes, mid May.
So but
Memories.
generally it should have been we would be told in like July-ish time frame of, hey, we got a Warno letter, start preparing.
Right.
Did I tell you how I got told that I was going 3PO?
I think you got told at training, right?
No, I wasn't at training. So I had just gotten back from basic training. I was home and I was putting in job applications, and I had a like the first meet and greet with actually Ventura County Sheriffs at the time. And then I get a call from Master Sergeant Bryant. And it's like within my first week of being home from basic training, and he calls me, he's like, "Hey, ready to go play war?" And I'm like,
that was Daddy Bryant.
And I'm like, wait,
man.
who the fuck is this? Because he didn't introduce himself or anything. He just, is this Specialist Gabriel? I'm like, yeah. You ready to go play war? What? And then he's like, oh, this is Master Sergeant Bryant. I'm your acting first sergeant at your unit. I'm like, oh, I am so sorry. And I and he's like, no. Yeah, right? And he's just like, no, I guess I probably should have started off with that. But no, seriously, we need you for a deployment. So I'm going to need you in Fort Dix. How long do you think it's going to take you to get stuff ready? Do you think 3 weeks is enough time? And I'm like, yeah, I guess it is, right? Because, I mean, I can't really tell my first sergeant no. And he's like, all right, I want to see you in Fort Dix, New Jersey by April 1st. And I'm like, okay, first sergeant, not a problem. April 1st. Wait a second. You want me to be there on April Fool's Day? Nice try. Fuck this. Who are you? He's like, oh, shit, I didn't even think about that. Make it March 31st instead. And I'm like, oh, son of a bitch.
Hey, I'm going to hop off. I'm going to go eat dinner with the family. I'll talk to you guys later.
Awesome. Thank you for the story, though. Have a good one, man.
Take it easy.
Yeah, so that was how I got deployed.
Cool.
Nice. I came this close to a deployment.
I was on a deployment and then hurt myself, and then stayed in Fort Dix, New Jersey, while they were in Iraq for a year.
In the Guard,
horrible.
What were you in at the time of your deployment? Was it the reserves or active?
That was reserves.
Okay.
Well, I was I was activated, so I was on active duty orders, but I was in the reserves. Is that?
No, that's like AGR for the Guard.
Pretty much, yes.
Same thing. In the Guard, it's even more different than the reserves because reserves absolutely augments for active duty forces. Guard does as well, but they're more stateside. That's their primary function. My superintendent comes to me. He's like, hey, something's coming down the pipeline. And it was just one position for my job code. And I'm like, well, where's it going? He's like, well, it's either Qatar or Jalalabad. I'm like, well, if we're going to do something wrong, let's do it right. Let's go to Jalalabad. And he's like, all right, put your name in the hat. And I didn't get picked.
So, and the reason he picked that is because he didn't want to be like the chairiest of chair forced. So Qatar,
Sure.
Qatar, Kuwait, as Fatal brought up, Germany, Italy. These are all vacation spots.
Yeah.
Like, you go there and you just lay back, enjoy the sun.
Yeah. I told the story the other day, but I told it on a different person, but
no, you were talking to it on stream, but now I'm recording it. So, Darren, tell us.
No, this is a different person. Same office, different person. Him and I went to basic training. We were in the same flight together. I guess for you that would be the same company.
Platoon.
We were in the same flight in basic together. We swore in together. Went to the same tech school. We were in the same class together, and then worked in the same office with each other. That shit is unheard of. And super nice guy, very mild mannered. Anyway, he too, like the E6 that I was talking about the other day, was going to Qatar, and I told him, I'm like, I don't want to downplay anything for you on the deployment, but I've known a couple people that have been over there. Just to let you know, Qatar makes you feel better. Qatar is a place people go for R&R to when they can't go home.
Yep.
So you're not going to be anywhere near the front line. You might be near some, missiles that someone might be trigger happy for.
Yeah, you might be near some indirect fire, but as far as anything else goes, there's nothing that goes on in Qatar. So
like if it makes you feel better if they did it, you wouldn't feel it.
You might hear a little thing off in the distance, see a little like dust cloud,
You might see a little glow coming your way.
But that's it. Patriot system, you're good, no issues.
Yeah.
But no. So Nova in my chat is saying that he joined the Marines to be a Marine. His first deployment was on a Navy carrier.
Oof.
Yeah. So I had a friend that was in the Marines for a while, female, and one of her friends. Okay, so it was a couple, and then like the husband of one couple knew the wife of the other couple. Their significant others, one was a Marine and one was in the Navy. And so whenever they would get into like the little bickering back and forth, one line that would always come up is that just remember that the Marines are a department of the Navy. And her line would always be, yeah, the men's department. And it was just a great thing, like the great banter.
The interbranch camaraderie.
Dude, and the thing is, it's like, he pissed me off. So his wife is like that like tiger mom, except they didn't have kids. So the only way she could be a tiger mom was for him. And so here he is out at a bar somewhere in like Camarillo or whatever it is, wearing his uniform, his like petticoat or whatever the fuck it is, right? In civilian clothing with his thing on that has his name, rank, and whatever. And someone comes up and starts giving him shit for it. Because, rightfully so, you're right by these bases that he wasn't actually a part of, but he's wearing uniform with civilian clothing. Like, I have a fleece. I will wear that fleece, but I pull off my name, rank, and... Although, sometimes I left the name on. Sometimes I left the name on.
You can leave the name on, you can't leave the branch of service or rank.
Yeah, and so I pull that shit off because it's a really, comfortable fleece. And it is.
I have both of my fleeces.
And so, yeah, I've got a couple in there also. I had the full bear suit with, like, the suspenders with, like, the fleece pants also for the cold weather out in Jersey. Oh, fuck you, okay? Jersey was cold, all right? But anyway, and so here she is ranting on Facebook about how these guys are being assholes to him and everything else. And finally, I just, like, we stopped talking at this point. I'm like, I'm sorry, but if your husband, one, wasn't doing something wrong, and two, wasn't such a little bitch, it wouldn't have been as much of an issue. Yeah. You've never been in the military. You should not be sticking up for his lack of understanding dress code regulations. Mm-hmm. He was completely in the fucking wrong.
Years ago, at Borderline,
we need to get you a ring light creation.
Huh?
You are a shadow. We need to get you a ring light.
I know. I was just trying to work on that as the...
Bring up Google on another monitor and you'll be fine.
It makes it ominous when you look at me. It's very mysterious.
Yeah. You just need a voice changer now. Could you imagine him with a voice changer? He doesn't even need a blurred out face. He's already doing that shit.
Welcome, guys.
I'm Batman. Let's see.
Yeah, years ago.
The thing is I need my room darkish. Because I need to be able to judge my colors and see my monitor and all that stuff. That's why I operate in such a dark room.
No, I'm totally 100% behind that. When I buy a house, one of the things I want to do is use the office where all my, PC equipment's going to be, make it a,
How's
low
that?
gray.
Tell us a scary story.
I'm trying to figure out a way to position it that isn't completely ridiculous.
That actually looks pretty good.
Yeah, that does look real good, though. Hey, he has a face, guys.
I'm going to go completely blind on that one. Jesus Christ.
My mom just came in, by the way. My mom has been subscribed for a full month now.
So
apparently...
Wait, your mom subscribed to you, but not people subscribe to your mom.
What?
Didn't someone subscribe to your mom on
No, they paid for her subscription to me.
Oh,
Oh,
I thought it was
that's
them
cool.
subscribing to your mom, and
No,
I'm
no.
pretty sure they did that to subscribe to your mom.
No. This one dude. His name is Jack Black, right? He spells Black, Blaque, right? He was just in here, just chatting with us one day, and someone looked over at my mom's thing and it's like, "Hey, your mom's not subscribed." And I'm like, "Oh yeah, next time I do a round of gifting subs, I'll get it." And the dude gifted my mom a full year subscription, left the chat, and I've never seen him again. I don't even think he's following me, but he dropped $60 on my mom to have her subscribe for a full year. And again, like
that's really nice,
dude, it's one of those things where I'm like, I never thought I would get this far.
There's kind people out there, regardless of what the news tells us.
Yes. So Afghanimal, I actually have a ring light that's bouncing off of a white wall behind. Here, I'll just pull my camera out so everyone can see it. There's literally a ring light right here that's bouncing off of a wall.
Yeah.
So that it can, so that it hits me without like blinding the shit out of me. Because otherwise, like,
I gotta do something like that.
I can't see shit now.
My the light works best for me at the mercy of the sunlight. So like if I have the room light off and there's not a cloud in the sky, then everything looks great.
Mm-hmm. So I'm
yes.
I'm the light I have, I'm purposefully have it pointed at the wall behind me so that it bounces off and softens so that I get some cast of light on me, because then I'm also not looking at a brightly lit monitor in a completely dark room, which is terrible for your eyes.
So
I turned on my phone light as a solution, and it was terrible, and I still see trails. But...
So Afghanimal, he's actually working on art right now. By the way, I did a little bit ago, but I just want...
I gave him a shout out.
Yes, guys, just up there, Weapons of Mass Creation is an amazing, amazing artist. He actually has a comic book. The dude is just... Honestly, Darren, thank you for like bringing him into this community. He is just such an amazing addition to this community as a whole that you guys honestly go check him out, drop him a follow. He's going to be doing some like art on stream. He's going to be playing some Dark Souls like games because he's a fucking masochist and just wants to roll off cliffs and hate life.
I like to suffer.
And just to put creation on the spot, because I'm your fanboy. Go to Stanley's Twitter. The profile.
Just pull it up. Pull it up. I'll put it on my stream.
All right.
Yep, we are putting you on the spot.
Stan Lee was this
dude right here
by this
guy. This guy.
This guy.
Yeah. Got it. Yeah, there you go.
Nice
gotta.
Appreciate that. That's very nice of you.
But seriously, guys, like Darren will pull it up in a second. Just put it on Discord so that I can show everybody. Yes, you're just getting complete shout outs today, creation.
Thank you. Appreciate that.
Yes, the Shadow Man. The Shadow Man is an artist.
Yeah.
All right, so
Shadow Man.
So as you guys can see, like
the profile picture was designed by this guy.
No, this guy, because now he's underneath me. You're on top of me, Darren.
Well, okay, you do that one, but on my stream it looks different.
Okay, so here, this guy right here. No, click on it, just in case no one believes it.
The guy with the most hair.
Dude, I have a lot of freaking hair right now. All right, like
yeah, he's got a lot of hair. In fact, he's got the most hair because his beard is definitely fuller than mine.
Shut the fuck up! You have that thick fucking jet black hair that I'm super jealous of. You have more hair on your face than I have on my head.
I'm telling you right now, it's only because I'm in shadow. It's pretty patchy.
Is that the secret? Is that the secret to having a full beard? Is to just do it in the shadows?
Shine a lot of light on yourself.
Oh, all right. Hold on, guys. Let me go dim the lights and rock the room. Yeah, going back to like some.
There's nothing that'll save me from this Hulk Hogan haircut. So
Darren, you don't even show. Come on, let's see the cue ball that you call ahead.
No, if you go to my Instagram, you'll see my Halloween costume. So, I did Dr. Evil. Because I do the voice pretty well.
Wrong finger, pinky. There it is.
Well, I wasn't doing the laugh. Like, I wasn't doing that. But so anyway, if you look at my Instagram, you'll see the Dr. Evil picture. That's actually what I used to do all the time, is just bick my head. Number one, for regulation. Number two, for looks. So because I really couldn't get a buzz cut or anything like that, so I would just straight up bick my head.
Why couldn't you get a buzz cut?
Really? The sides that are faded, I have more hair on than the flat top on the top.
Okay, so
I
you could have
couldn't
just
get
done
buzz
like
cut.
you could have. I mean, is it out of rags to have like the cul-de-sac?
In my book, it is out of rags to have an island and a cul-de-sac on the top.
It's definitely out of life regs.
Yeah, thank
Well,
you.
he doesn't have a life anyway, so it doesn't matter. But
Wow.
is it out of? But is it actually out of regs? I've never
So for-
thought of.
No, for Air Force regs, because I imagine they're different for Army. Mental bookmark because there's a sub story there. It involves Blitzraptor, but basically the sideburns cannot exceed like halfway through the earlobe.
Something like
Something
that,
like
yeah.
that.
Well, halfway through the ear, not the earlobe. Could you
And then
imagine?
Yeah, and then the side of your hair cannot touch the ear.
Yes.
The top can't be more than X amount of inches. I want to say
Two
I
for-
don't remember.
It was 2 for us. I think it was 2 or 3.
I think it's like 4 for the Air Force. They let that go a little bit. So now I'm going to bring up the mental bookmark. Blitzraptor had a funny story of knowing a guy that under his command, off stream, I'll tell you his rank creation, but he knew a guy in his unit that, like Fatal Story, changed his religion to pagan so he could grow a beard. Because you can't have beards. You can have mustaches. They can't exceed the side of your lip. But he changed his religion to pagan so he could grow a mustache because he believes in Norse mythology.
Right. So, question about the whole haircut regulation thing.
Your hair does not pass.
No, I know that. I'm well aware. But my question is, do you think that it's still presently practiced because it's a sort of a relic of the past, or is it a uniform thing, or is it a practical thing? You don't want long hair in hand-to-hand combat.
There's a couple of things.
Wait, my stream crashed. Repeat the question.
Basically, is the short hair just there for practical reasons, or is it just a relic of the past?
Yeah.
So
both.
I do think it's both, but the facial hair is for gas mask fitting, as Nova's bringing up in my chat right now.
So that's really practical. Yeah, that makes sense.
As far as a beard goes, you cannot get a seal on a gas mask with a freaking beard.
Dude, you can't get a seal on an N95 mask if you have stubble. I get it. Seriously, that's one of the things they were telling the people at the hospital. You got to be clean shaven to wear these things.
So the big thing is, and the reason that I'm going to agree with Nova saying that it's a little bit of everything as far as a relic of the past, is that women are allowed to have long hair, which means that it is
which is really counterintuitive for a hand-to-hand combat, right?
Yes, that's a totally different thing altogether. But originally, it does serve a couple of purposes when you go in. One, everyone is the same. Two, if there are any head lice at all whatsoever, they're gone, because you can't have head lice without hair.
Right. And you don't want everybody getting head lice, so you just shave it all off anyway.
And honestly, it's just a thing that some people take pride in their hair. Some people, have more hair than others and everything else, and it's just like an equal playing ground for everyone.
That's even what I thought. It's like it levels the playground, it makes everything really uniform.
Even if you
and then there's practical reasons.
Even if you have no hair at all, and I'm not even like cracking jokes at Darren or anything like that. Let's say that you shave your head before you go in, they are still going to make you pay that $4.50 for a haircut. Just to like rub the fucking like dry razors, like the dry clippers over your scalp and say, get the fuck out of here.
Story time.
That sounds awful.
When I went to basic, I did just that. I didn't shave it I shaved it I think a couple weeks before, just because I read somewhere, hey, don't cut your hair all the way because you're gonna have to pay for the haircut anyway. But I'm like, I have no hair for them to cut. So whatever, we'll roll with this. And I get in line for the barber and they're giving all the instructions, but then the barber looks at me and I'm not anywhere near the first person in line. And it's very systemic how they do shit. Anyway, the barber looks at me. He's like,
systematic. not systemic.
That's a different thing, Garen.
That is a different thing.
All right. Systematic.
There you go. No. Systemic is a word that's been thrown around a lot lately, and I got to make sure that stays off this stream. We are not getting political right now.
No, I don't necessarily find systemic to be a political term because it's an actual term.
Yes.
That's fine. Just I was confused by your use of the word because it wasn't quite right. But anyway,
okay,
go ahead.
There you go. But anyway, the guy points me out and he's like, dude, get the fuck over here. Pulls me out from the back of the line
and you were done. You were just we're not cutting your hair.
He had to do it to go through the motions.
Yep. Oh, yeah. I had my so I have a mole on the back of my head that has been shaved off numerous times. And all they do is take a little bit of Vaseline, throw it on there, and say, "Yeah, it'll stop bleeding in a bit. Get out of here."
Jeez,
that's actually how I found out I had a mole. Is because it started bleeding all over the barber.
Like, what did you do to me?
And he's like, "Oh, we got a bleeder." I'm like, "What?" I'm thinking that like,
barbarian.
Yeah, but no, I got a mole like in the back of my head, and then people are like, "Well, why don't you just have it removed? It'd be easy enough." I'm like, "Because it doesn't bother me, but once every like 6 months when you shave it off."
Yeah, right.
It's the only time I
ever didn't even know I had it.
Yeah, right.
That's the one thing I'm thankful for is when I started picking my head, I didn't have like any moles or anything to.
You got good bald head.
You have like a nice round undented head.
Yeah. No, there's a dent up there.
See, I'm creating my dent right now with my headphones. I legit have like a small indent on my skull now from how often I've worn headphones.
I got a dent somewhere back here, and that thing is a bit of a bitch when it comes to picking it because every single time I will miss a spot and I'll feel it, and it's like where you feel like a little bit of fuzz. That's where I'll miss it and have to go back and fix it. But it's always that little dent.
You know, so. I think I figured out why a lot of streamers wear hats now. It's because they don't want to have that indent in their head.
Maybe. I don't know if that's necessarily true. Like for me, it's just a self-conscious thing. So if I don't pick my head, then I'd rather not fucking show it off. I'm so used to wearing hats now that it really doesn't matter.
You know, I might actually start trying to use my earbuds because the girlfriend was amazing. I found out they're actually like a year old now, but I actually have a pair of Razer earbuds because I am a Razer fanboy.
This should work nicely.
Yeah, they're little. But I am an absolute Razer fanboy. My mouse, my keyboard, my mouse pad.
They make some good stuff.
I'm a Logitech fanboy. I'm a loyalist when it comes to brand.
I do Logitech as well, personally, but that's because I'm using the same. I use one of these. Can you see that?
Yes.
This little game board. I use that for Photoshop.
Okay, if
you're doing the same keyboard.
They're both wireless?
Yep.
Okay,
One's for the PlayStation.
No wonder you have horrible input lag. Used wired and you won't have that input lag.
No. I don't have any input lag from like keyboard, mice, peripherals. I don't have any problems with those.
Oh. No, I kind of have like a random thing now. So both of my Dells, I actually have matching monitors for like the first time in forever. So I've got Dell
having not matching the monitors. That shit annoys me.
Well, the thing is that normally you'll have like your main monitors and like something else up top that does something else. And I do think I need another one up here somewhere just so I can watch a couple more things. But I do actually have like a desk that like hangs over the top of everything. So I don't have a whole lot of room over there.
Right.
I've never had matching monitors because one of my monitors I draw on.
Well, you have like one big 32-inch, 27-inch that you primarily.
I got a 20. I don't know. It's like a 27. I forget what it is. It's an Asus, it's a 4K. It was one of the first ones they made that had 60 hertz. So it's a few years old now, but I use that one a lot, mostly. But when I actually have to draw, I use my Wacom. I have a Cintiq that I draw on. But it also functions as my second monitor when I'm not drawing on it. So
yeah, I've got two 29-inch monitors. So
yeah, I got the command center.
I don't know why you don't use that gigantic one in the background, like the TV. Just hook it up and just.
I do use it. I just don't use it for streaming or anything.
Oh, dude, you should.
That's pure leisure. So I guess it's my turn.
All right.
So I have the quad monitor set up over here, and then
Hey, Mom, look, I'm on TV.
I have this big 32-inch. That's primarily for if I stream PlayStation or Switch.
It's nice.
Yeah, I want to get new monitors though because these are a little outdated. But that costs money. So
Yeah. The next thing I buy is going to be a larger one to draw on, I think, but that's a ways away.
or like a touchscreen.
No, the Cintiq again, but there's a new generation of it that's larger and it's just a better drawing experience. It has virtually no parallax and it's also 4K, which is the one I'm on is only 1080p. But then again, my screen, the one I have is significantly smaller than that. So this is a 13-inch drawing real estate. The one I'm looking at is like 24.
Like more than doubling your canvas.
Not quite doubling the canvas, but it's higher resolution. So that's nice.
You know, I could actually do 3 more monitors and just go above and then 2 more to the side over here and just have the 5 set up. But I still have the laptop over here, so I mean that kind of works. That's actually what I'm watching our streams on right now, so that I can still check your chat.
One of the setups my brother-in-law wants me to build him is he wants a supercomputer with something built for racing, like racing games. And I'm like, all right, well, why don't we do like anywhere between 2 and 4 curved monitors?
Woof.
I mean, if you want to go crazy, then let's go crazy.
Go ham.
Yeah.
Well, why stop?
Make it like a full-on simulator.
Yeah, why stop there? Why not just keep
Predator?
Just keep going all the way around to like here.
Yeah, 360.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, there was
someone
one. Go ahead.
Sorry, someone in the chat said Predator dual. Is that a monitor?
Yes. Well, it's just a brand.
Predator? They make monitors?
I believe so.
Well, shit, I did not know that.
Oh my god, that's so bright. I'm not doing it. You guys can do it. But so actually, part of the army training, because of running convoys and everything, is MPs. We got these awesome like 3D Humvee setups where they actually had weighted like crew serve weapon mount up on the top also that you could swing around with you, and there was like 6 of them set up in this trailer, so you could actually do like full convoys. And when you turn your head left and right, you're literally like looking windows, because there's like basically there's like monitors here, and then you have your passenger and you can see their monitors and out their window.
Right.
And it was actually just really cool, because then up in the turret you spin around and you can like see all around you, because the monitor sits right in front of you. And so as you're spinning, because you're not supposed to be able to see behind you anyway, because there's freaking blast shields or whatever the hell there is on all sides. You just have this little there's these little fucking like tiny windows you're looking at, and like this little piece that's open right over the top of the barrel.
You basically have one field of view.
Yeah, that's it.
So it's better just to look at the monitor anyway. It's better than what the window, if it was a window, would be, right?
Well, no. The monitor actually had the breakdown of what you would actually see out that thing. And
that's what I figured, yeah.
And
if there was a window there, I mean.
Yeah, the thing is, it still only had like the 2 slot areas, and then the piece over the top of where you're holding the weapon. So
my
it was pretty fun, actually.
My old base for years, I think, as of the last like 6 months or so, it's finally starting to come into fruition. They're supposed to get an AC-130 simulator.
You know, I actually used to play with a guy that wow, that sounded bad. So I used to.
It's fine.
I guess no one's here is going to judge me, but no, there was whatever. Your opinion doesn't matter.
You bigot.
Yeah, you bald-headed bigot. No, big-headed bigot. I like that.
There you go, big-headed bigot. That's funny.
But I used to play this game called Secret World, and one of the guys actually used to work on the programs for the simulators for C-130s. And so he's like, I've never flown one, but I'm pretty sure I'm a better pilot than half of these guys, because I spend more time in the simulator than most of these guys do in the simulator or in the planes. And it's supposed to be, set up to the point that, it's, realistic acting. Or, and the cool thing is he's the guy off to the back that's actually giving them like weapon malfunctions or, you know, engine malfunctions or whatever it is. And so, of course, he's been in there calibrating it to what should happen when this happens, that happens. So, yeah, it was just kind of cool. So he's like, yeah, one of these days I think I'm just going to, you know, quit my job, go out there, take one for a joyride, come back in and say, all right, guys, just don't arrest me and we'll call it good. Mr. Darren, you look tired. You look like you were stifling a yawn.
No.
You good?
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, I do gotta get going soon, but
Mr. Creation, what are you
Yeah.
working on today? If you can show, are you allowed to show us or share us? Share with
I
us?
am absolutely not allowed to.
Oh, okay.
Sorry, folks.
No worries, no worries. Not trying to get,
NDA.
not
as
trying to
much
get.
as much as we enjoy you being on here, we do not want to.
Can't be losing my job and shit. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying?
All right, so if you guys look really deeply into his eyes, you might get a reflection of what it is. Don't worry, guys. It's not gay. He's not looking at you. You're just looking at him. But actually, I think it's a good spot to call it. What do you say, Mr. Darren?
I'm okay with that.
Mr. Creation, thank you so much for joining us today and enlightening us what it is to struggle as an artist.
Thank you for having me
Of
and listening
course.
to my my humble little story.
Yeah, you know what? Mark is right. You do have those Tom Cruise eyes.
Good lord.
You actually do.
You really do. Like, I'm gonna like, holy shit! Like, if you cover up just like from like his upper lip down, I'm on stream with fucking Tom Cruise, guys.
No, actually, the person that I always thought you looked like when the films came out was Christian Bale. When you shaved the beard.
Oh my god, yes, that too. When he's like in the mountains, fucking cold and dying.
Like right now, you are definitely the Last Samurai. But,
Yes.
But shave the
You're
beard
very
and
kind.
shave the beard, and you're the Dark Knight.
You're very kind.
Not kind. This is just observations. Like you have that face.
Speak for yourself. This is jealousy. It's all the hair.
So, Mr. Cruz, Mr. Creation, Mr. Bale, thank you very much for joining us today. But seriously,
Appreciate
guys,
you having me.
if you have not already checked him out, followed, or whatever it is, Darren, are you going to type it in again, or am I doing it this time?
Can I plug
can't do it.
Can I plug my IG if we're doing this?
Absolutely.
You will not be able to. Darren's going to have to do it. Only my mods have the ability to put links in. But if you want to just say what it is, and then Darren, if you have a link, you could throw it up there also.
It's a weapon. Well, I mean, if you have to spell it out, it's got periods in between the words, but it's weapon of mass creation. And you can see anything that is not NDA related or not under NDA.
There you go.
You can see anything I'm working on there.
But yeah, guys, seriously, go and check out Mr. Creation. I'm just going to,
I've always
say
been a fanboy of his work.
I'm just going to say
Appreciate that.
welcome for being one of the newest members to the Bad Hatters. Darren, you're part of it now too, whether you want to be in a clan or not. Majority of the people here are Bad Hatters anyway, so just deal with it. One of us, right, guys?
One of us. One of us.
Okay, legitimately, whenever I go to someone else's stream or I get someone in there and Drop or myself will like invite them into like the clan or anything like that, people like members of my clan will literally start chanting "one of us" in like the chat.
It's from a movie or something. I don't remember what it
Mine?
is. What it's from.
But
Mine.
it's just great. But again, those that came in here: Mom, Nova, Fatal, Alex, Afghanimal, Heather Delude, because we miss you and we love you. Cowbells, guys, thank you so much
Do
for
I
coming
know
in.
Heather?
No, you do not. I know that for a
Okay.
fact.
Okay.
I
know. Obviously, there's Jeffers, but I know another
Dude,
Heather
there's
from
so many
Samey.
different, there's so many different branches here. So Doc is the branch. If you're circling this around me, Doc is from high school, right?
Okay.
Then you are post high school / Starbucks Regal Rats, whatever.
Sure.
All right. That's that branch. All right. And you have the twins who are mutual acquaintances of both you and Doc and myself.
yes.
Right.
Right. So there's different groups of people within that community that know each other. They just don't hang out. They just know who each other are.
Right.
Then you have my borderline crew. You can call Blitz Raptor that. Who you may have seen on stream with me, Creation, but you haven't actually formally met him or talked to him.
Okay.
But Doc has, at least on one occasion.
I have?
Well, you talked to him in game.
Oh, okay. No, I thought you meant like actually met him. I'm like, I haven't actually met him.
No.
Shit, I was thinking about it, Darren, when you were talking to him. I have not seen you since like 2008.
Wow.
Right.
No. When were you thinking about going into the Air Force?
It was in 2008.
Okay, when were you thinking about going into the Air Force?
I applied to Air Force OCS. That would be 2011, 2012.
Okay, so the last time I talked to you, you hadn't applied to anything yet. You were telling me that I'm trying to, like, you were talking about getting everything in order to go, like, because you're like, yeah, I think I'm going to join the Air Force. I'm like, wow, following in my footsteps, huh? You're like, no, I'm going to do it right.
That's something I would say. 2010, 2011, I was actually thinking Army, and I kind of got sandbagged by one of the recruiters. At which point I talked to an OCS recruiter for the Air Force, and through him, I met the Guard. So anyway, going back on those little branches, Creation actually met some of the Borderline crew that are some of the best friends of mine from Santa Clarita. But then there's another branch of Borderline crew that kind of hangs out here all the time. Doc has played with one of them, and that would be Bryce.
He's an idiot.
He is. I love him, but he's
an idiot.
Love him, but he's an idiot. And I know he's not watching the stream, so I don't give a shit.
I don't give a shit anyway.
But then there's Alex Balbanes, who I've known since fucking kindergarten.
Yeah, I've known Alex since 9th grade. No, I met him before that. We just happened to have math together. I actually met him between the summer between 8th and 9th grade.
Oh, shit.
Yeah, my mom's in here and she can know the story now, but there was this small time where I would they would drop me off at a youth group. And literally she'd drop us off and we would just leave and go play on the train tracks or whatever. Like legitimately go play on the train tracks.
Go play in traffic as you do.
Yes, Sunrise. Yeah, see, I do.
God,
so I want to bring up one story real quick because Alex
you did not bring up fucking Sunrise.
Yes, so Alex might remember this. Alex, you remember the time that the train stopped under the overpass and we jumped on it and we rode it all the way out to Oxnard and had to call someone to come pick us up?
That's great. Really?
We jumped onto one of the flat.
Take it easy, Indiana.
You're having lit, man.
No, it like totally stopped, and we were just like having fun or whatever it was, and we like jumped onto like one of like the flatbed parts of the train, and then was it you? Oh shit, I don't know who I did this with then, but anyway,
I feel like he would have told me at some point in knowing him, he might have mentioned this story to me.
See, I never threw rocks at it because I always thought that was just a dick move. But anyway, the train was stopped, and so myself and now I don't even remember who it was now. But we jumped on like one of the flatbed portions of it, and it started moving. So one of the people's like, "Fuck this!" jumped off real quick, and me and one other person rode the flatbed part of it all the way out to Oxnard before it finally stopped again. We're just glad that it stopped in Oxnard, not like fucking Portland.
Yeah, no shit. You'd have to really Indiana Jones that shit and jump off while it was moving.
300 miles out, you're on your own.
Yeah, so
Fuck.
That's probably the first time my mom's ever heard that story. But
I can't believe you brought up fucking Sunrise.
But Mark, were you the one that jumped off? Okay, so you do remember this. You were there. You were there every time we did this shit. But anyway, so yeah, we didn't have cell phones or anything at the time, so I actually had to call a friend's mom in order to come pick us up. And so
from a payphone?
With the you have a collect call from I need a ride. Can you help me out? Do you accept the charges? Thank God she said yes.
Those were the days.
I lived a little bit more dangerously. I think from the time I was like 12 or 13, I always knew people that were like 6 to 10 years older than me. And
Those people are called pedophiles at that age, Darren.
No, those weren't pedophiles.
No, I'm kidding. I'm kidding.
They were definitely trouble.
Yes.
They weren't pedophiles.
Yes, those are the people, Alex.
But anyway, the people that I were hanging out with, we always had rides, we always had vehicles, we always had this and that. So anytime I needed to get home, if I didn't have to, make like ancestors and walk, I had a ride. But Sunrise, I have a couple stories.
Well, we'll save that. I'm not doing anything tomorrow. Actually, guys, Darren, I don't know if you want to help me out or not tonight. I am going to be finishing up that I'm going to be starting and hopefully finishing the video for the sheep that shits rainbow wool for Minecraft. I don't know if you want to help me with like the video editing or whatever it is. I have no idea what the fuck I'm doing.
Neither do I.
I've never done this. I've never even recorded anything. This is the first 1 hour, 55 minutes I've ever actually recorded myself.
So I have a video. It's hidden on my YouTube for specific reasons, but it is
Alex says he can help.
Awesome. I might be talking to you about
skills? You got editing skills, Alex?
Darren, continue your video that's hidden.
The only experience I have is with this one video, and it's basically just my family on Dr. Mario. If anyone's ever played Dr. Mario, you know what I'm talking about. If you don't, it's like Tetris. But if you get more than 2 in a row, you wind up dumping random colors on the other person.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And I don't care what religion you
fights with your family.
I don't care what religion or what language you speak. You all of a sudden know curse words with that.
Yeah, for sure.
And
okay, why is it
makes me irate?
I basically took videos of my family playing that game.
Oh, right, I forgot. Yeah.
Spliced a video together, and that was my only attempt at Adobe Premiere.
So, is it just me, or does every Mario game that is not just like player 1, player 2, like taking turns, does every Mario game the games themselves are all about like growing friendships and hanging out with people and doing things together and
Mario Party and shit.
Yeah, right. Except that everyone that's playing it like curses like your entire existence.
Yep. No. I wouldn't go that far.
Okay, which one? Head-to-head Mario game.
You want to lose friends? Play Overcooked.
No.
You'll be stabbing people.
Oh my god, me and my girlfriend tried playing that shit, and we wanted to throw things at each other on that fucking blimp level.
Yeah. A fun Mario game.
Oh yeah.
The fun multiplayer Mario games that are always a good go-to is Mario Kart and Mario Party.
No, those ruin friendships.
They do.
No, Mario Kart doesn't really ruin friendships.
Oh my god, if you ever knock someone off Rainbow Road, they will never be at your wedding, alright?
No.
The second you hit someone with a blue shell, you automatically, you get taken out of their will.
But what they did with the new Mario Karts is they have a diversion to the blue shell, but you have to get it. So it's kind of it equalizes the equalizer. So
do you have any idea how many times Bullet Bill fucking power up has just see? No. That game
No. You have no idea.
Oh, I've got to show you something. Go ahead, keep talking. I'm here.
Mario 3D World is a fun multiplayer, but it will bring up curse words. If you want to end friendships, you play Bomberman.
That's true.
You want to end friendships, you play Bomberman.
Bomberman will fuck your life up.
Guys,
I have so much fun.
So will Overcooked.
I have the ultimate lose friends game here in my lap. It is a board game. Are you ready for this? Oh.
Monopoly, the Mario Brothers edition?
Nintendo Monopoly. This is everything that people...
Why is that a thing?
Because people don't like having friends. If you want to get rid of people, pull this out at a party. They will never come back. Ever. This is Mario Kart meets Bill Gates meets the end of the fucking world.
Oh, man.
But yeah, I just wanted to bring that up real quick. It's actually sitting in my living room because I have an awesome collection of stuff in my house.
Best I got is a board of shot glass checkers and Simpsons chess.
I also have the 8-button joystick that came out for the 30th anniversary of Street Fighter. That's
Nice.
also sitting up over there. I have a Holy Grail from Monty Python. that says a couple of lines from it. Like, my living room is actually really nice. So the entertainment center is set up to where on half of it is my girlfriend's pictures and some stuffed animals, and like it's all really cute and everything. On the other side is like the router, the PlayStation, that Nintendo thing, the Holy Grail, and then the freaking joystick. So you can kind of see where our priorities are. But
See.
But no, there's also a bookcase over there that has, I actually set it all up now. At some point I'll take a picture and post it, but it has like the system, and then it has all of the games for that system that I have on both sides of it. And the next shelf down is another system and all the games on it. I have apparently 2 PS2s. I have no idea how I got a second one. And the thing is that I know I bought a second one, but it's because I had the original PS2 that was trash, and then I got a PS2 Slim, and now somehow I've ended up with another PS2 Slim. I didn't realize I had it until about, I want to say 6 months ago. My girlfriend's like, "You have 2 of these?" I do. She's like, "Yeah, they're in this box stacked on top of one another." I have no idea where the fuck they came from.
Wow.
But yeah, Mr. Darren.
GameStop will give you 7 cents for it.
Oh God, that was the very first podcast we had about GameStop and how much they pissed me off.
Oh yeah, as far as the stock market.
No, oh well, that too, but no. I mean, Darren, if you want, I have more stories. If you're good for more, this is all up to Darren.
Give me 5 minutes.
All right, fine. You want to put on a song for us?
No, but
He's gonna go. He's gonna go poop.
I don't have. I have stuff that's quasi done, but they need to be copywritten first.
Okay, not a problem. Oh my God.
Okay, bye.
The amount of like the speed that no came out was just amazing. Well, he's already heard the story, so I'll just tell you guys. And then he can kind of catch up when he gets back. But I tried going to GameStop and selling some of my stuff. And I figured, okay, I know I wasn't going to get a ton for it, all right? I
Sure.
get that. But
No one ever walks into GameStop thinking, you know what? I've struck gold.
right? And so one of the games that I was taking in there, I forget what the game was called, but they offered me 5 cents. Like, you were joking 7 cents, but a legit 5
No,
cents.
I wasn't joking. I mean, I was kind of joking, but I know the routine.
And I'm like, seriously, 5 cents? I'm pretty sure that I could recycle this for more money than what you're going to give me for a full fucking game.
In fact, I think you're right. It would probably be at least the exact same amount, a 5-cent return on the recycle fee.
That's what I'm getting at. And I'm like, I will probably have more fun having a friend, if I had friends, throwing this thing around in the backyard as a frisbee than I will giving this to you guys for 5 cents.
Alex is insisting they never took anything less than $1.
Well, he didn't work at GameStop. Did he work at... He didn't work at GameStop. I thought
Yeah, I
worked
think he
somewhere
did, yeah.
Okay.
But so did I, and I remember taking shit for less than $1.
But
that was circa 2001, so because I'm old.
Yes,
so.
Right. But there was DJ Hero. So you remember Guitar Hero and like all that stuff,
Sure.
right? So
yeah, I remember that game.
So there's DJ Hero, and DJ Hero is basically a little turntable and a little like cross switch or whatever, and you just have one turntable that you're doing with, you know, what's going on, and there's a couple of sound effects and a few things, and
Right.
yeah, exactly. He had DJ Hero. So I take the whole thing into GameStop, and they're like, "Oh, we don't take DJ Hero." I'm like, "Oh, why? What's going on?" He's like, "Oh, because we don't have any of the turntables."
Terrible.
No, well, yes, but they said they don't take it because they don't have the turntables. I'm like, oh, well, here's the turntable also. They're like, yeah, we don't take the turntables. And I'm like, hold on. So this is the thing. So in total, they offered me $21 for like 15 games, and that was it. 1950 of that came from one game, and that was Harry Potter Legos.
Jesus, really?
So the other 14 games netted me about $1.50.
Wow.
Oh my God, that was... And so I just donated it all. I'm like, fuck it, I will get more on a tax return, like a tax write-off from Goodwill than I will from fucking GameStop. Oh my God, it was bad. By the way, Alex, I do want to talk to you tonight also. There's a couple of things I'd like to talk to you about. So whenever you're home and you're available, I would like to get you in Discord and have probably a semi-lengthy conversation with you, my dude, about a few things.
Yeah, audio editing, I'm more than happy to help. Video editing, I'm useless to you. I know some things, but I'm not nearly anywhere near intermediate.
Okay. Well, Alex, you have stuff to do tonight? Like, I don't want to take you away from things. It can always wait until another day. But yeah, I just want to make sure I'm not, keeping you up or whatever it is. But yeah, Darren, I don't know, were you able to hear everything I was just saying?
I heard part of it. I chimed in on something. I'm like, oh God, Guitar Hero, the game that put real musicians to shame. That was the part that I heard.
We couldn't hear any of that.
Oh no, I typed it.
Oh, where?
You did?
On my chat.
In his chat with. I think it's just me. I think it's just me and you in your chat, Darren.
Yeah.
Oh, I see. Is Alex?
No, that's mine. Darren's also on.
Okay.
Damn, he's not even giving you the lurk.
Wow.
Oh, really?
Fucking
this whole time?
Called out.
Oh my
Damn.
God, you're right.
Oh,
There you go. I just did.
What a dick.
Oh my God.
I'm gonna make that another audio thing for you.
What a dick.
What a dick.
That would be great. Be able to. I would have to have that like a very specific thing, but yes.
Oh yeah, I still have to update that one cheer for you. The cheer.
Oh, people in chat. Everyone that has, and I'm gonna bring this up on Monday because I'll have more people in here on Monday, of course. But I am going to need everyone in Discord at some point in time because we are going to make a 40-person cheer sound for any time that someone does a cheer of 1,000. You will hear 40 people. Peeper. You'll hear 40 people chanting the words cheer. I think that would be great, wouldn't it? Be
cheer.
No, but not just that. But I'm talking about just a bunch of people going cheer, 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 and then that would be the end of it. But it'd be 40 people doing it. I think it'd be really cool. Or
we can
horrible.
Harmonize.
Exactly. I think it'd be great. But that's another project and everything. But yes. I just want to do that one story real quick, and that's all I really had.
What, GameStop?
Yes, my GameStop story. I did it while you were, off fidgeting with whatever it is you were fidgeting with. I still think you need to move your stuff up to the loft. Just I don't know. Maybe if you put the stuff in the corner you're in right now.
The thing of it is there was never an intention for me to be here as long as I was. I only expected to be here 6 months to a year, and
now you've been there for
2 years.
2 to 6 years.
No, just 2 years.
Only for now.
But I was this close to buying a house, and that's one of the things that I still hold, high for me is single. I was able to get pre-qualified on a $550,000 home. Never actually got to get a home, but got pre-qualified for it. So
nice. Yeah. Are you going to use the VA loan for your first house, or are you going to use new buyer stuff and VA loan for your second? And he's gone.
Get it.
Cha! Welcome back, Mr. Horn.
Thank you. So I'll be using the VA stuff for. Oh, hang on. I'll be using the VA stuff for sure. It's just so the reason why I was here as long as I was, in part, was because the Air Force, or the Air Guard, I should say. And this is one of those times where I'm proud of my branch, but I will shit on them when they fuck up. It took me almost a year after my actual discharge date to get my so for those
playing the home game.
Playing the home game. Gotta add a little
point
to it.
Oh, I'm doing that next time we do this podcast.
Active duty and reserves gets a DD form 214.
You gotta make sure it's in the form of a Super Mario Brother coin. That bling. You know what I mean? Every time.
Oh my god! That Darren, set this up for me. I will just superimpose it.
Or anytime you one up someone, it's a one up sound.
There you go.
But So active duty and reserves, you get a DD Form 214. That's your evidence of discharge and evidence of service.
Yes.
All right. In the Guard, both Army and Air, it's a NGB Form 22. It is the exact same form. It looks almost identical to the DD 214, but it's specific to state level. So my DD Form 214s, first off, was a fight to get because I have two of them, and they never issued my first one, and I had to go to the admin section to have them process both of them, and they were late on that, but they were faster on that than my actual discharge for my entire 6 years, and that took almost a year to get. But I needed that form for the VA loan, so I couldn't apply for anything or start that process without that form, and I didn't get it for a year later, and I was already living here for a year at that point. So otherwise I would have just gotten an apartment and said fuck it.
Well, it's a good thing they make it so easy on you.
Yeah, right.
You know, I never actually
it's
went
so
down.
difficult.
I never actually went down and did my discharge stuff for the Army. So I got out, and I'm supposed to go down to like an air base or something and talk to deers. I've been out for 3 years, and I never went down and talked to deers.
What's funny is I not only still get the text messages from Everbridge. So when shit happens in the state of California, I get text messages from my base saying, "Hey, be ready to mobilize," or whatever. Like, bitches,
Like,
I'm fucking out.
Right.
I know I'm in IRR, but you got to notify me for that. Well, once I don't know, I think it was like maybe 2 months ago.
By the way, IRR is the inactive ready reserve. They'll call them up before they reinstate a draft. Continue.
Yes. So after your service, you have 2 years IRR, and they can call you back up within that amount of time. After that, then you have to be drafted.
By the way, the IRR time is all dependent on how long you had on your contract. So all military contracts are actually 8 years. Most contracts are most contracts are what are called a 4x4. So you serve for 4 years, then you have 4 years of the inactive reserves for the most part.
Right.
Gotcha, 6 and 2.
Yeah, he had a 6 and 2. I had a 5 and 3. Somehow that turned into 11 years in. I have no idea. But continue.
But anyway, so for whatever reason, I think the VA finally got notified that I was discharged, only they may have fucked up the discharge date, and now they're saying, hey, we understand you're going to be out in 180 days. This was 2 months ago, and I've been out for almost 2 years.
Cool.
Yeah, so I'm like, am I still in?
They're really on top of it, huh?
I know. And I always make this joke, but it's like half-hearted true. I think there's some false advertising in the commercials, because in the commercials, we look awesome.
Right.
Talk about I still look awesome.
I mean, what's that old adage? Close enough for horseshoes and hand grenades and government work?
Like those applications that they're using in the commercials look shit awesome.
Right.
But the ones I actually used were like 1980 called. They want their shit back.
Yeah, right.
I pulled up something for someone too. I don't know if I can legally say the name of it, so I won't. But basically, it looks like MS-DOS.
Good stuff.
Was that the iPerms?
Yeah, it's wonderful. What's that?
iPerms?
No.
Okay.
There's a couple systems that utilize the same application.
So my orders, my enlistment thing got screwed up at one point because so you know how normally on when you have your enlistment papers, it says how many years active, it says for this many years, this many months, this many years, this many months inactive, and then at the bottom it says, this is the ETS, right?
Yeah.
So they did not put in the actual ETS date. They just put in this many years active reserve, this many years inactive reserve, and they're like, technically you don't have an ETS, so you've signed up indefinitely. You've signed up indefinitely. And I looked at them and I'm like, then I'm going to be as useful as this desk. Okay. And I sat there and my first sergeant's like, get the fuck out of my office. I'm like, no. And so he was a really good dude. Like, I remember having lunch with him one day. He was an E7 at the time. And he was telling a story, and he's kind of like me, where he's like really loud, really boisterous, and he was cussing. And I'm like, hey, Sergeant, you need to watch your mouth. And this is a specialist, an E4, talking to an E7, telling him to watch his mouth. And he looks at me and he's like, I will say whatever the fuck I want. And I'm like, okay, that's cool. But if that mom behind you kills you because you're cussing in front of her 5-year-old, I'm not going to stop it. And he's like, yep, that's a thing. Sorry, but you're good.
Public perception's amazing.
Nova is right. There is one additional thing.
Yes.
Stop loss. Stop loss. Oh my God, dude. So when I did deploy, while I was in Jersey, I met a dude that was in IRR, and he had, because they were pulling people in for IRR back in 08 because they needed bodies. He had 2.5 months left in IRR.
And he got roped back in.
They reactivated him for a full year for Iraq. Oh my God, dude, he was so pissed off. Like anything that someone told him to do, he's like, fuck you, not doing it.
Yeah.
As like, I will do the minimum standard.
And there is no incentive for that.
None whatsoever. It's like they're not going to promote.
And that's kind of stupid, because they should at bare minimum make the stop loss an equivalent incentive as to re-upping or enlisting initially, because it wasn't necessarily your choice. But then again, that's what you sign on the contract. You understood that you have this X amount of time after your contract that you could be roped back in for whatever reason.
Correct.
Right.
And
I feel like that could be used as a loophole to
get
you back in without any sort of incentive.
It is. But the thing is that it's only for that deployment. After that deployment, you are done. There is order extensions. I don't know. Nova, one of you guys might be able to. I don't think stop loss is enabled to be. I don't think their orders can be extended if they're stop loss. So, like, if the unit's orders are extended, I don't believe that they can be reissued order extensions.
They have to re-up. They can re-up in the middle of a deployment.
No, that's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about, like, so a lot of units, especially like my unit.
Yeah, no. You're talking about extending the deployment. Like, you can volunteer.
No, not volunteer. Voluntold. Extending
no.
I don't think that a stop loss can be voluntold. Yes, there's volunteered and voluntold, by the way.
What the hell does that mean?
Volunteered means that
I volunteer you.
Yep, he volunteers you to do something. Voluntold means that I'm the higher up and you're doing this because I said to. So you are now my volunteer. So volunteered means, like, let's say your squad leader's like, the first sergeant's like, hey, I need 3 bodies. And your platoon sergeant's like, not a problem, here you go. And just picks you and throws you in there. You've been volunteered or voluntold.
I get voluntold all the time at work to do shit I don't want to do.
That's private sector, so you have the ability to say fuck off, and there are consequences for that.
That's true, yeah. I'm just kidding.
You don't even have that option.
No, you don't.
Military.
But
I'm just kidding. I'm not complaining at all.
It's yes, sir. It's yes, sir, or ma'am, may I have another?
Yeah, copy that.
It's actually really awkward when one of the females. Did anyone tell him about the green weenie? I've already brought up the big green weenie. I don't think Creation has heard about the big green weenie. That is...
I know nothing of a big green weenie.
So whenever you are volunteered, voluntold, or have to do something that you really don't want to, and you feel like... Have you ever heard of the term bohica?
Not familiar.
Bend over, here it comes again.
Yep, it's the acronym.
The only ones I know are FUBAR and SNAFU.
Okay, well, but yeah, so bend over, here it comes again, because they're just going to sit there and just bend you over, and you're going to take it as they use sandpaper and,
sandpaper dildo.
Just no lube.
No lube at all whatsoever. They just throw extra gravel in there to make it, a little extra. But that's the big green weenie that they use to fuck you.
Yep.
Makes sense.
Yeah, so...
Then there's the Great Idea Fairy, completely...
Okay, so the Great Idea Fairy, I think, is amazing, because a lot of those ideas came from the E4 Mafia.
So, a buddy of mine, I think it was 2019 Halloween, his costume was the Great Idea Fairy, and he's also Prior Army. He took his Santee and wrote Great Idea on it, but then wore, like, fairy wings on top and had, like, a little scepter or a little magic staff.
Yeah,
and he just walked around as a Great Idea Fairy.
I know. I think I work with people like that.
The Great Idea Fairy basically is
someone in this industry, not necessarily like right next to me.
Yeah. But thanks, man. But the great idea theory basically is someone that thinks they came up with a great idea and they decide to implement it without actually thinking it through or testing it or whatever.
Totally. That is 100% clients.
That is the entire
My
6 branches.
my least favorite words is, can you just do this one quick change? Because every time I hear that, it's never quick. Not one time has it been quick. It's usually hours, and it's especially frustrating because it usually comes from people. I mean, it almost, in fact, not almost, always comes from people who do not make the thing.
Well,
They tell people to make the thing, so therefore they have no idea what it takes to make the thing.
Yeah, well, that's how you're always going to have those things.
Yeah, totally. But it's like just don't try to butter me up. That I understand shit needs to get done. I get it. Like,
or at the very least, drop the adjective. Just say, "Hey, can you make this change?"
I wish. I wish they would just say that, because I hate the necessary gotta soften the blow because I know what I'm about to ask of you. Just shoot me straight. I know shit has to get done. I know how this works.
Well,
I know that there's clients and I know that there's customers and blah 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 blah. We're all trying to sell shit and make the best thing. Just tell me.
It's like saying, just make the bullet count because I don't want to limp away from this bullshit.
Yeah. I just shoot me straight. Be like, look, I gotta change, and it's not gonna be quick. All right.
Here's the thing, though. Maybe it's more of a compliment on you that they think that you're at that.
It's not.
Okay.
100%. Absolutely not.
But
immediately shoot them down.
Appreciate that, but it is not. No, sir.
Oh. But even aside from that,
it's just people are trying to be nice. I get it. So I try to rein in my frustration. They're not trying to be a dick. They're not trying to be frustrating.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm the type of person is like, I don't like people sugarcoating shit for me, because it just makes me feel, even though I know they're not, it makes me feel like they're what's the word?
It's like adding the but after a compliment. Like, it's really good, but
that's a different thing. But it makes me feel like they don't appreciate what I'm trying to do here or the work, because like they think it's quick to just make the change. It's I totally know they know that it's not. I know they know that it's not. They know that I know that they know that it's not. And it's just like, what is the point of the language? Yeah.
I was counting the degrees of separation.
You know that I know that you know that I know that you know. Anyway,
because I think you actually said that correctly.
Yeah,
you had like 4 degrees of separation. I think you stated that correctly.
Yeah, and Kevin Bacon was in there somewhere. So
that was 2 degrees away.
He was in A Few Good Men with Jack Nicholson and Tom Cruise.
And Tom Cruise came up to his grip and said, "Can you do this for me really quickly?" Yeah. And that's where Mr. Creation came in.
Softball player, Jack.
Is this the same Batman that's in our stream right now?
Yes, it is the same. It is the same Mr. Tom Bale that is in our stream.
Yeah, sure.
Tom Bale Keaton.
Anyway, I guess what I'm trying to say is, like, just shoot me straight. We don't gotta do this dance. I'm an adult. I understand how this shit works. Even though I'm an artist, I don't have thin skin. Like, if you're going to do this as a commercial artist, you have to have thick skin. That doesn't mean call me, make fun of the work or whatever. It just means don't bullshit me. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
No, I get that. I don't know about the Army, but in the Air Force, there were times where there was like sugarcoating and shit. But I straight up told my superintendents and my captain, I'd be like, just give it to me straight. And I had one superintendent in particular. This dude was just.
You guys even have civilian-sounding names in the Air Force. Damn.
Are you kidding? Like, we had a bunch of Filipinos at my base. Like my superintendent, his last name was Tagalog.
But no, like that is.
That's a civilian name, dude. Just because it's Filipino.
Master Sergeant? No.
No, not that. But superintendent. There was no one that
okay.
I would ever call a superintendent.
Okay, I see what you're talking about.
You're talking about like someone who sounds like they work at a fucking library
Yeah, right.
or a school board.
Yeah, right. So I was sitting there at my board meeting with my superintendent. I'm like, I was there with my platoon sergeant and like 3 lieutenants.
Here's why they were called that. It was loosely used as like a street term. The reason why is because guard bases aren't fully staffed in the manner that active and reserve are. So like the comptroller office that I was in, at best we had 18 people in the office. It was more common to only have 6 to 8. And that was to manage the funds for a 1,500 person base.
All right.
That's a lot to ask for. But even with 18 people, and typically on the active duty side, there were 60 to 80 people in the comptroller office. So in that sense, you would just have a chief. But in our situation, our office didn't warrant an E9. The highest you could make is an E8. So for that reason, we didn't have a chief. We called them a superintendent. It was used as a street term.
Oh,
but that was
master sergeant.
That was a senior master.
Okay.
E8's a senior master. So it's a street term because your office is not warranted a chief. So the highest you can do is a senior. So you can call him senior. You can call him a superintendent. But that's basically your pinpoint of the senior highest enlisted for that function.
All right, have a good night, Mom. So
mom's leaving?
Yeah, my mom's out. Mom Janine is actually my mom. Her name is Janine. She comes in here to watch me stream.
Mom Janine.
Her name is Mom Janine. Darren has met her on multiple occasions.
The police were even called on us.
The police have been called on us multiple times. I have pictures. Like basically every single time. Brad, dude, Brad started calling me out in his own stream yesterday. Like, the dude's just awesome. If you guys have not checked out Medium Rare Bread, he does like music critiques, and he basically is just honest about people's like SoundCloud music and everything else. Like, Darren, I kind of want to put you in contact with him, because he just knows a bunch of people. If there's ever anything else you want to do, whether it's just music, just vocals, like he's trying to do his own like record deal, like his own like label type thing. He's just, honestly, Brett's just an awesome dude. I met him actually playing Diablo. Him and his friends were like, hey, could we get a level? A power up? I'm like, fuck yeah, we'll power level you guys. And one of my first week or two type things doing it. And like, he's dropped like a 30-man raid on me. He's just a good dude. He's got an amazing group of people. The dude's just making bank over there. Like, basically, he charges people $5 to listen to their shitty music and then give them like honest critiques on it. It is, dude. It's amazing. All right, I love what you do.
Honest critiques can be hard. Can be surprisingly hard to come by.
And the thing is, it's great because he's like, I don't care if it's fucking like bluegrass, country, Midwest, whatever. If it's like hardcore rap, or if you're doing something in Danish. Like, he listens to it all, and it is so cool listening to him and watching everyone respond to him, and like hearing like the good, the bad, the ugly, because like you never see that kind of stuff, you know? It's always pleasantries because no one wants to hurt people's feelings. And fucking Brett is in there just laying people out. It's beautiful.
I think Creation kind of nailed it on the head, where that, sort of thing is kind of hard to find, because you have you really only have two sides of the coin. You have the people like what we were talking about earlier, where I will shit on something like fucking Mortal Kombat, for X reasons, Y reasons, whatever.
Point.
I'll shit on something because I hate it or whatever, and I won't give any regard to whatever factors. But then you have the people like you were saying, where they just give pleasantries because they feel bad for saying how they truly feel.
Right. Well, also there's a third factor. It's hard to find honest critique that is respectful, but also well earned. Like someone who knows what they're talking about and can actually make your work better.
Right.
But also the flip side of it is, it's very hard to come by because here's the rub: it's not really in demand. No one really wants to hear the
Right.
honest critique. They
Right.
want you to go, "Oh, it's great. Yeah, fantastic."
Yep.
This is what stifles
It's called
actually young artists from getting better.
Mhm.
Is everybody just jocks dick. They don't ever say, well, this is pretty cool, but you could try this and that, and this will make this and that better, and then I think the piece will be more successful.
Dude, that's literally what he does, and he's just like, hey,
I think that's great.
I'm just
I think
taking like
that's
a
valuable.
random thing, but he'll be really specific too. He'll even be like, yeah, like the rest of your track really doesn't sound like it really needs like an 808, so you might want to dial that back a little bit to a different kind of bass. And like the dude is like just breaking it down completely, or as the army would say, like breaking it down Barney style, where I know nothing about anything, and I'm sitting there going like, yeah, he's absolutely right. I could totally see how like this and that. I'm a fucking idiot when it comes to this kind of stuff. But
here's the thing: you may not know music, you may not know how to create it, right? But if that critique was employed, if it was used and it was actually changed the song, I guarantee, if he's right, which I'm sure he is, that you would, as an audience, an uninitiated, would go, actually, yeah, it does sound better, because when it's better. You may not know how to get there, but when it gets there.
And that's honestly, like I said, I told Brett that I'm like, maybe I should start submitting my own stuff to you. He's like, yeah, you should. And I'm just like, it's going to be just me like 15 minutes of ranting at people. That's about the only thing that I create as far as music goes. But honestly, like it was just such a chance. Harmony? You're an ass. You're an ass. You're an ass.
Why are you like this? Why are you like this?
Who hurt you?
Society.
One of the best gifts you can give somebody is, you ever see the movie Whiplash?
No. I'm going to be with Darren on this.
As a musician, Darren, you should really watch that movie.
I did see the one clip.
If you can get past the fact that maybe he's not really drumming, but it's the philosophy behind it.
Well, okay, so
does it match the book though that was written beforehand, or else Darren really wants nothing to do with it?
I think it comes from a book. I don't know. Without diving into the music and everything, there is one specific thing that I forgot his name. J.K. Simmons says in that he's the teacher in this, and he says to the guy, one of the most harmful things in the English language is the phrase "good job."
Yeah.
Because, not to say you don't want to give someone their credit when credit is due, but what he's getting at is when you are too afraid to hurt someone's feelings to say that it could be better.
And that mantra right there is the military.
So
the military is like, you tied your shoes, you showed up, you didn't end up in jail, in the hospital, or in the newspaper. Congratulations, exceeded expectations.
So the reason I think art school, as ridiculous as it sounds, was one of the hardest things I've ever done, is because it was the first time in my life, and I've been drawing since I was a kid. I got into art school with those charcoal portraits that you used to see me draw at Starbucks, the Elliott Smith and all that shit that you really like. I got into that. I was doing that before I went to art school. But one of the things that it was the first time in my life that I got the razor's edge of that shit all the time. My every day was not good enough, get better, not good enough, be better. This could be better. This is not quite there. I mean, I've had teachers tell me in front of the class, or tell other students, this is not good. You should take it off the wall in front of everybody. Like it feels like a boot camp. It feels like a dressing down. And it makes you feel like, I've heard Joe Rogan describe eating shit as a comedian as one of the most horrendous feelings you can possibly feel, is when you bomb on stage. I'm sure it's not as bad as that, because I'm not in front of hundreds of people, but it does kind of feel like it could be close.
So
being on stage.
To your point,
go for it.
So like the Whiplash thing, the scene with J.K. Simmons and the drummer, I don't know who the actor was.
So you
I
have
forgot
seen
the actor's name.
Yeah, but anyway, so my old band, we spent 6 months with the producer, who was a family friend. He owned his own driving team, as far as doing stunts for movies or whatever. But he was a professional drummer.
Mm-hmm.
And I played the track. I don't know if it was last week or this past week or whatever, but I basically played a comparison track between two albums. It was the same song, but it's just a night and day difference, not just in sound, but in timing.
Darren, that was literally the other night just for us. It was just us listening to it.
Right. Mm-hmm. And again, I couldn't remember when it was, but anyway, that scene in Whiplash where J.K. Simmons is just brownbeating this fucking drummer.
Mm-hmm.
That was
like, you're dragging, you're rushing, you're dragging, that thing.
Right. That was exactly what I experienced with this producer for 6 months. And I
guarantee he made you better.
Oh, hands down. And you can hear it in the quality.
Great.
But at the same time, and I'm willing to bet Brad will agree with this. One of the other come to Jesus moments that I had was with a different producer and a manager. And they basically said, if you want this to be like the after school special, do you, man. And if it gets over, it gets over. But if you want to write something that's commercially viable, then you don't have to stray too far from your roots, but you need to find a happy compromise to what mainstream media and what it is you want to do, and find that middle ground. The best example is Metallica. They didn't stray too far from their roots, yet they made something like Enter Sandman fucking stick in people's minds like that.
Dude, it's one of the most iconic songs ever now.
Well, and it even has like the little nighttime prayer that we all learned in like fucking grade school and whatever.
Right.
I mean, there's many reasons that song is great, but yeah.
But above all else,
it's commercial.
At some point when you're recording, you have to find some level of satisfaction that this is ready for release. Otherwise, you will never be happy with the final result. And that was one of the things I made sure to get through very early on. Keep things not only very simple to where I can easily be satisfied by it, but at the same time, constantly push myself in certain directions and certain differences and certain changes that I wouldn't be too dissatisfied with the end result, because you're always going to have an audience that's going to shit on it. You're always going to have that.
I mean, you're never going to please everybody.
Exactly.
And it needs to be this sort of overlap of doing what you want to be doing, but also being commercially viable. And I mean, the sort of that
you gotta find that point where this is good to go, and down the road you can say, I could have done this differently, this could have been better, but the end result is good. You have to be satisfied with that. Otherwise,
I mean,
you're constantly rack your brains.
That's something I used to. You ever listen to people who say, "Well, I'm a perfectionist."
I like that. I've heard that before too, Brad.
Right, I'm a perfectionist. Like, no, dude, you're just afraid. Perfection doesn't exist. Why are you trying to pursue it? It's fucking impossible. It's a fool's errand. I used to be the guy that used to say that. I'm much happier now because I don't pursue it.
With him talking about this stuff, he looks more and more like Christian Bale. The more he gets into this, like, he just, I don't know what it is, but you just look more and more like Christian Bale as you're, like, talking about this stuff. If you guys don't know, I am actually in a stream right now with Darren Lehorn and Tom Bale. He's Tom Cruise, Christian Bale. Mr. Creation. Tom Bale Keaton.
Keaton. What's the Keaton?
Michael Keaton,
Just
Batman.
The Batman reference.
Batman.
Oh.
But yeah, like
Christian Bale's Batman. The Keaton thing's kind of redundant, no?
But like Brett was saying, like, having people shit on you is validation that you're doing something right. And that's actually something I know I've brought it up in stream before, but I
want to circle back to that, but finish what you're saying.
It's kind of going back a little bit on what you were saying before about, not always telling people they're doing a good job and everything. So I used to teach at a high school, and a lot of people might have already heard the story and everything. But when I would go in there, one of the first things I would do is I would ask, all the kids, because I was teaching in a theater class, and it was, who in here really wants to be an actor or an actress? And, majority of the class raises their hand, and okay, that's cool. Now I take two people that are sitting next to one another. All right, so tell me why you deserve the part over the person next to you. Ready, set, go. And you put them on the spot, and they don't want to be mean to the person next to them, or they don't want to do whatever. And I'm like, I just get this through your heads right now. None of you are fucking special. All right, there's someone in the world willing to do more, try harder, learn their lines quicker. There's someone out there that is more driven in one day than you will be in the next 3 months. And if you want to prove yourself, you need to get out of this whole headspace of you're special, come back down to earth.
More
And-
importantly, I deserve this. 'Cause
Exactly.
You know what? Nobody owes you a fucking thing.
And the funny thing was
They're gonna make you pay for everything.
And so the funny thing is, like, you see me, and like, you know, my streamers see me and everything else, and I'm a pretty loud person, okay? I mean, I can be fucking super, super loud. Do you remember Santa Sue, Darren? Like the layout of the campus and everything? So I wanted to show my kids what projection was really like, and so I put them on that little amphitheater, and I was giving directions from the parking lot so that they could hear me and everything. So this is probably about a football field away that I'm giving them instructions and directions. And they're like, I don't understand how you're able to project that well. And it's just like, it's practice, but seriously, guys, you even have acoustics with you and I can't fucking hear you. Louder.
Right.
Louder. There's like no microphone, just louder. And so...
plus being outside, you're at a disadvantage because sound travels up.
Yes. And so, like...
Acoustics are good.
Well, the thing is it's like a rounded wall behind them, so a lot of their stuff like really picks up for, you know, the audience, because it's an open air amphitheater.
Yeah. But it's a shit amphitheater that's just made of fucking stone and dirt.
Yes, but the whole thing was an exercise in volume and everything else, and it was just the fact that, you know, look, this is what you can do. You can. I never put myself above the kids as far as I'm better than you because whatever it is. It was, I'm able to do this better than you because of whatever it is. It's not that I'm better than you.
Yeah.
It's that in this category. So improv is where I absolutely shine, because basically I taught kids how to lie, cheat, steal verbally, because that's what improv is, right?
That's
You take
a gig.
Huh?
Yeah.
That's kind of the gig.
Yeah, and so that's what I taught them, and they're just like, how do you come up with stuff that quickly? It's like, it's life experiences. It's, you know, going outside and talking to someone. I might be able to take parts of this conversation, bring it in here. You guys have never experienced that conversation, but I'm going to give you a little bit of a part of it. And that's what making me a better person, a better actor when it comes to this, is life experiences. So most of them, you know.
But I mean, here's the thing: is that is uniform a truth across all art forms.
And he's gone.
Uh-oh, we lost him. And he's back. Hi, welcome back.
Welcome back, Mr. Horn.
Thank you.
What I was going to say, dovetailing or circling back about art school, is what you said. If they're picking on you, it means you're doing something right. I did not realize that when I was in art school, because I was picked on a lot. We all were. I'm not trying to say I was elevated above somebody. That's not what I'm getting at. But if they're paying attention to you, it's a good thing. It means that you have potential, and they believe you can do it. You just need to sack the fuck up, or cowgirl the fuck up, or cowboy the fuck up, or whatever fucking adjective you want to use.
Whatever fuck up you are.
Because the reality is, it's hard. It's really fucking hard.
Yeah.
And if it wasn't hard, it wouldn't be worth it, and more people would do it.
You take the road less traveled.
Yeah, and it was the first time in my life that artist to artist, because these guys were working professionals. My teachers were not artists who taught because they couldn't do. Every one of them worked on some of the most famous properties you all know. And those are my teachers, and I'm immensely fortunate, and they all demanded excellence from us. And it was one of the greatest experiences of my life, and it made me get better. It made me understand what it took to be a working artist. I'm not saying like a fine artist thing, because that's like trying to be a rock star. There's other factors when it comes to shit. Hold on.
What happened?
The hue. Not very ominous.
I have a hue light, and it just went off on me. So anyway, I'm back. There's other factors involved when it comes to being a fine artist. It's like trying to be, whatever. It's a rare thing. Anyway, I don't know enough about that world anyway to speak intelligently, because I never really wanted to be that guy. I wanted to be a guy who just works on movies or video games or some shit like that. And here's the reality of it: is that is much more of a game that is merit based. It's craft based. It's what I do is a craft. People think it's fucking sorcery. It's not. It's like welding. you
Yeah.
can get better at it. You really can. That's why they have art school, because it can be taught.
I
All
still
these
think it's
things can be
fucking
taught.
magic.
It's magic if you don't know what I'm doing. Just the way welding. I don't know how someone welds. I don't know what that is. I don't know how someone makes music, but I know it's a craft. I know it can be got better at. I know people can learn to be better writers.
Of one
The
of the
thing
minor
is
things.
like, but here's the thing that people think it's sorcery. Is I often hear young artists or young whatever say, I don't know how do I get better? You know, I draw 1 or 2 hours a week. At that point, I fucking laugh. Like, I literally laugh. I'm like, oh, you think you're working hard? For real?
Yeah, you're hardly working.
Do you know how many hours here's the thing is, if you try to get into the industry, that's your competition, not your kid that you sat next to in as a junior year that you used to draw next to. That's
Have a
not
good
your
night, Mom.
competition. That's not your competition. Your competition is these fucking epic artists who already work in the industry. So if you want to get at their level, you got to do what they're doing. And you know what they're doing? They're drawing 8 to 12 hours a day.
They're constantly practicing.
A day. There isn't a day that goes by that I'm not doing some shit like this.
God, I
I'm
remember.
not thinking about shit like this.
You know, 2 hours a
When,
week, that's about how much I actually work my real job. I'm kidding. It's more like
And-
20, but still.
got in the band. I think it was my senior year of high school. That was when I was working at World Music as a guitar teacher. I was doing that 4 to 5 hours a day.
Mhm.
But then we would have band practice for probably another 2 to 3 hours in that day. And then Saturdays, if we had shows coming up, we were doing set rehearsals, and that was anywhere between 5 and 8 hours with like intermittent jamming in between. So you have to make it at least a full-time gig to
Yeah.
constantly improve the craft.
And that's why it's hard. That's why it's hard to
Yeah.
become an actual working artist. Is you have to also work another job while you're doing it. Which is when I was telling the story earlier about how like I would work the minimum amount.
Mhm.
Like I like stopped driving my car because I didn't want to have to pay for gas or insurance or any of that shit. Luckily had the car paid off, so I didn't have a car payment. But like I didn't even want to pay for the insurance to drive the thing around. I was like, it's just gonna sit in the street, and that'll be that, because I don't want to have to work another job to pay for the fucking thing I don't frankly really need right now.
Right.
So I lived as cheaply as I could with food. I didn't fucking buy clothes for like 4 years. And I mean, these are the things I had to do to get the job done. And,
Yep.
and what that allowed me to do was work the minimum amount to live on and pay my very, very modest rent. I lived with 3 other people in a
Was this when-
two bedroom apartment that was all of 800 square feet. Okay.
Oh, shit. So you were in Santa Monica at the time.
Well, West LA, yeah, but
West
yeah,
LA.
close enough.
'Cause
So
I do remember that.
so I was grinding on the art for 8 hours a day, even on days that I was working. So like that coffee shop I was talking about, it would be open until 3 a.m. And sometimes, if I didn't work the day job, I'd be there pretty much right when they opened, and I'd be closing it up with them at 3 a.m. That's how you do it.
Yeah.
There's no secret. It's just really goddamn hard.
You just grind. And
You just grind. That's
And
how you
that's-
get better. And the thing is,
even-
you can't perfect practice, focus practice. It's not just blindly drawing whatever the fuck you want. You got to figure out what you're doing and really think about and study hard. Like if you don't know how to draw fucking biceps, then you know what you do? You draw 50 biceps.
Yep,
If you don't know
until
how to
get
draw
good.
if you don't know how to draw tanks, if I had to do a concept, someone's like, you know, you got to figure out a concept for a tank that has this and that and that and this. I'm like, well, shit, I don't know how to draw tanks. I guess you know what I got to do for the next day or two? Fucking draw tanks. Look at tanks.
When you
Look at
said
reference.
when you said draw 50 biceps, I literally just imagined one dude with his arms out and then just bicep, 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 bicep. Just I don't know why that was the first thing I thought of.
That's not at all weird, because that's exactly what I would do. I would literally draw arm after arm.
No,
studying this area.
No, I'm talking about like one dude sitting here and then just like a bicep and then just another bicep, another, and just like these like squiggly like squid arms or whatever.
No.
I
would just draw the arm. Like if I needed to know what an arm looks like for whatever arbitrarily in this position, I would fucking just draw that, and I wouldn't just do it from memory. People think that's another thing. Oh, well, you can't draw from your memory. Like, no, nobody fucking can. Have you ever drawn? No. If you don't know how to draw a thing, then you go look up the thing to draw the thing. It's as simple as that. It's people make it harder than it needs to be. It's not sorcery. I go and I look at other artists who are clearly better than me, or I pick up an anatomy book of actual fucking human beings, and I go, well, at the bicep, I'm gonna draw the bicep. That's all you do. That's how you get better at drawing the bicep. It's not fucking sorcery.
And
It's just hard to do. It's like fucking homework. No one likes to do homework. I get it, but that's how you do it.
the same applied to music. I can't tell you how many times we would spend rehearsing on, one particular thing. And even when we were recording our last album, we actually took a lot of quality time in figuring out like what skins on a drum sound better with this amplifier or this bass. Like we took the time to actually dissect all that.
Mm-hmm.
And I even do that now. And to Doc's point a couple nights ago, a bit of perfectionism. Yeah, I had the whiplash thing for fucking 6 months, and that dude is still stuck in my head. Where, as I'm laying something down, as a matter of fact, Ricky's
That's
Doc's song.
Everyone knows my name at this point. It's fine. You already fucked that up horribly the first couple of streams.
Doc's song that I'm writing for him, in the very beginning, I immediately cringe because I know that there's one little note that's just slightly off and needs to be fixed.
You know what I would say to that is I would say that's okay that it's there. You need to trust yourself to, in time, find the solution. Just give yourself the space to do it.
I already found the solution. I know it needs to be done.
Okay, fair enough.
It's just that it's those things where it's like, all right, this this measure doesn't line up with all the instruments, so it's got to be redone. And you get to that point where it's like you can, and that's why my songs stay as simple as they are. Just push the boundaries here and there, because at least then, once I get the rhythm nailed down to a fucking science, then I can be like, all right, maybe I could have recorded it better, but I'm happy with what it is.
By the way, while Brett is here, and you know what, Brett, you're in here, you've paid me. I want him to hear the song. I want to hear his take on what you've got so far. Would you mind playing it again?
Your song?
Yes.
All right.
Awesome. Brett, I'm putting Darren's music out there.
Why you gotta do this to me?
It's not done yet. Just remember that.
Like this?
Why am I like this? Because I am.
I actually have to go. I have a wife who probably wants to eat tonight.
It still trips me out that you're married.
Yeah, it trips me out sometimes too. But what are you gonna do?
If you just woke up one day and all of a sudden, you got a wife.
I'm happier than I've ever been. So she's made me better. So I can't ask for anything more than that. So
Mega spotlight, yes, on Bread and on Darren. Creation, if you are out of here, dude, thank you so much for coming in. It was amazing having you in here. You have brought so much to this thing, and honestly, my whole thing for this when I started it with Darren, we were just bullshitting one day, and I'm like, this is the kind of shit that we should probably be streaming because I think people would have fun with it.
I love talking.
Dude, I would
talking
love to be able
to
bring in you. I'd love to be able to bring in like Bread and his stuff that he does. Tweaks, I would love to bring you in here and just hear your amazing accent because, well, your British accent is sexy as hell. Let's be honest. But yes, if you guys have not followed him yet, please make sure you check out Weapons of Mass Creation. His artwork is
singular.
Weapon. He is the weapon of mass creation. He's the only one.
The only weapon you need.
The only one you need. But please make sure to check him out. Follow him on Twitch. Follow him on Instagram. Weapon.
Thank you.
Thank you so much for coming in and talking to us today.
Thank you guys. I really appreciate it. It was a lot of fun.
It was. Thanks, hope to have you in here again sometime, man. Have a good one.
Yeah, we'll talk soon. Take care. Bye, everybody.
Mr. Darren.
All right.
And then there was two.
So I'll play this track and then I gotta go soon too.
All right, not a problem. Play it, let Bread rip you apart, and then we will call it.
Alrighty.
Let's do this.
Remember, it is a work in progress. It is not a final product at all. But if you'll hear it in the very beginning what I'm talking about. and the end product will do that. It'll just fade out. So, but yeah, that's kind of my approach when it comes to writing music. It's just very aggressive. I do have one track in particular that's completely jazz. Like everything is, soft movements, soft progression. Definitely John Mayer-esque, but when I'm writing a song like the one I'm writing for Doc, it's very aggressive. So the little chimes that you hear in the key of G, that's like the lightest touch for the entire song.
By the way, since he's not going to do it himself, Here With Me Tonight actually dropped last week. It is Darren's first album in 15 years. It is available on Spotify, iTunes, everywhere. It's out there. Check out Darren Lehorn, Here With Me Tonight.
Apparently not on Pandora yet.
It's not on Pandora yet. I've already looked, but seriously, guys, you should check him out. I'm going to try to get some signed merchandise from Mr. Horn here so that I can give it away on stream at some point. Because honestly, dude, even if it's just fucking jewel-cased copies with like that little paper like you used to do with your, second time around and all that other bullshit, like I think it'd just be an amazing thing to have like a signed piece of, that is Darren Lehorn.
I don't know if I'll ever press jewels, but
fuck it, dude. I will do it then, but you have to sign it. I will buy a CD burner just to do it.
I got a great idea. That's just like my assholeism / humor. I'll just buy a thing of sticky notes and sign those and send those off.
Okay. There's actually someone that I follow on Twitch. It's a female. She's a professional Overwatch player. Okay, her name is Fran. And
Mark keeps saying that's missing song. I'm not re-recording live, man. I'm not re-recording that shit.
Why not?
That was great for that day. I've only ever re-recorded one song to release. I've recorded 2 others just so I can play them live.
But anyway, her name is Fran, and when she's not playing Overwatch competitively as like a top 500 player, and it's just really, I mean, you guys know video games and everything else. I mean, fuck, Tweakin probably even knows who Fran is, but it's really rare to see a female in like a competitive gaming scene, and she's cute, she's attractive, she's funny, and what she does on her other streams is you can actually buy Pokemon like booster packs from her, and she'll open them live on stream, and then she will sign one of the cards and send that to you in the set.
Oh,
but cool. Literally, she just signs a fucking like Pokemon like mana card or whatever the hell they are. I've never played Pokemon, guys. Like one of the energy cards or whatever it is, and it's just. Like, I want to be able to, like, put that kind of stuff out there. Just, like, if I can get creation to do, even if it's just, like, a mass print type thing of the logo, and have him sign those and give those away for, my 300th sub or, like, 1,000th follow or whatever it happens to be, something random, I would love to be able to get those people that are just huge parts of the community that we're building, something else out there. I mean, fuck, dude, I don't care what you say, but I'm going to put your shit on vinyl at some point and get you to sign the entire fucking cover. Like,
I mean, that's okay. So if being able to command my music on Alexa is not a small life goal. Being able to have a vinyl record is definitely in there. So,
but dude, I don't care if I have to like go have someone fucking print it for me and just have you sign it. I will have the only signed copy of Here With Me Tonight on vinyl.
Fine.
I'm good with this. I will show that shit off in the background. Like, look, dude, this is the kind of thing that I have that I cannot wait to put up, all right? If you've ever played Street Fighter, like, you understand what this... let me pull it out of the plastic.
No, don't pull it out. No, don't pull it out of plastic.
Oh, no, it's a reprint. It's not an original.
Okay.
But, like, anyone that knows Street Fighter knows what these colors are. All right? Yeah. Like, Mark is probably having a shit fit right now because he knows exactly what these fucking colors are. And buying something like this, I would love to put this up in the background. I'd love to have my logo put up somewhere in the background with fucking Hunt down in the bottom corner. So, by the way, for those that don't know, these are all the second player colors when you're playing Street Fighter 2.
Yep.
Those are the kind of things that I absolutely fucking love, and I would love to have those original things. Brett, if you ever put stuff out there, please, please, God, send me a copy of it. Send me something. I would love to have it.
I actually got a jet. So.
You do? Not a problem. Darren, thank you so much for everything that you have done. Thank you for the song. I look forward to our podcast and everything else. Guys,
thank you for your critique, Brett.
Thank you so much. I will be in Discord if any of you guys want to talk, but I will be ending stream now. Are we rating somebody?
I'm looking to see who's on there now. I think Michael is the only one that I know is on.
Oh, by the way, Hankel, I totally missed that thing like 20 minutes ago. I think I was like rocking out to something. Thank you for the follow, my dude. I have no idea where the fuck you came from. But yeah, did you say Michael?
Yeah.
Mike Grow.
So if you guys want some entertaining games,
Is it PWNY?
it's all one word, micro PWNY.
PWNY. We're gonna rate him, but like I said, guys, if you just want to chat off stream, like Mark, I really want you to come in here so I can talk to you a little bit. Guys, thank you so much for coming in for the podcast. This is a new, actually, best for me at least in the podcast, having 14, 15 people in here. I really am gonna keep doing this every week with Darren on Fridays. I want to get more people in here. You guys are fucking amazing. Thank you so much for coming in. If I don't talk to you again, I will see you guys on Monday for the stream.
I still can't raid. Oh, there you go. Let me know when you're ready.
I got like 3 seconds. Again, guys, you're fucking amazing. Thank you so much for everything. Go in now.